You're in the right place. That's the only thing that matters. Here, tuned in with me, Tsunami, your weekend host, and these two fine gentlemen next to me, Lizard and Trent. We are back again. And I mentioned it at the end of the last broadcast, but we're at the halfway point here, gentlemen. We are getting ready to start separating the top and the bottom of this bracket. Got 3 series coming up today. It's going to be a bangers from top to bottom. It's OG versus Navi. That's how we're going to be starting things off. After that, Liquid versus Alliance. Liquid looking to perhaps get their first victory. We'll see. And then we got a VP versus Nigma to round things out. And I asked Lizard at the end of last broadcast which of these series he was looking forward most to. But Trent, how about you? Out of those 3 series that we got today, what you're looking forward to?
Most out of those 3, probably Liquid Alliance. I don't know. It's a classic. What can I say? I always like watching those guys go up against each other. It's too good.
Lizard, you like watching Navi and OG go up against each other because we're already in the draft right now?
Wow.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a very interesting situation here in which OG, they're not the underdogs by any stretch, but the results that Navi has had recently, they speak for themselves. They're on a roll, and usually you wouldn't even put these 2 teams in the same tier level. Like not this Navi, but Fly to Moon, right? Like they just were taken by this organization, and usually when you look at Fly to Moon and OG, you kind of expect OG to be on the top part of the ladder, right, and Fly to Moon somewhere at the bottom 3. But they're doing extremely well so far, and yeah, this might be a hype series.
Yeah, of all the promotions between VP Prodigy getting full VP status and Fly to Moon getting Navi status, we mentioned yesterday what's the difference between a stack and a team, and it seems like these signings have done these 2 CIS squads well, as they are currently topping the group. They are both undefeated, and Navi is looking to maintain that undefeated squad. And what better way to start out than with a CIS classic support disruptor?
Yeah, that is crazy how well Navi's doing though. Like they've had, I think, a week off since their last match too, by the looks of it. So, we have the Division 2 and everything, but they kind of had like a little bit of a break. So I hope that they aren't cooling down too much. The break, I feel, is better when you're losing. When you're out, 3 games straight, hopefully they're looking back in those games and just trying to even further improve. Because they did go 2-1 in all their series, to be fair. So, obviously there's room for improvement. And OG, I feel bad for their fans sometimes because they're such an exciting team to watch, and it feels like they're the kind of fans that really get emotional because they feel like OG can do so much, and then sometimes they just pick certain heroes, and you're like, OG, what are you trying to do here? What are you doing to me?
The worst thing is for the analysts, like for us. It's enjoyable to watch them, but it's a hell when it comes to predicting how the game is gonna go with OG. Like they pick some draft and you're thinking, okay, this might be just OGing. They're gonna figure some things out, and then Thompson goes 0-5 mid and the game ends in 15 minutes. And then they come back the next game and they stomp. It's just very difficult to predict them.
So far, things are at least somewhat straightforward. Nothing too exotic, no weird silencers or other exotic picks that OG's been kind of whipping out earlier. Earth Spirit Morphling. How could you possibly go wrong with Earth Spirit Morphling? It's tried and true. Have some flex potential with the Morphling, but still, it's a basic opening. Put the OG fans' pulse at like a cool 80 BPM as we start this draft off.
Yeah, to me, it makes the mid Doom less appealing because then the Morph just gets to farm the whole time. So I would assume that they'd want to get something that tries to move that Morphling out of there, but at the same time, it's OG, so I feel like they're going to try their hardest to ram that Morphling straight through the mid.
Navi did play Doom mid before. It's Iceberg that played it. They won that game with him mid. But like you said, you don't have to put it versus Morphling. Like you can't do anything to a Morphling mid.
Yeah.
Puck, you can mess with him because of Scorched Earth, but Morphling, he's just gonna strength morph through it and hit you back, and you really can't mess with him in the mid lane. You will farm the same. Like if you put Doom versus Morphling, you'll still find farm on Doom. Don't get me wrong. You won't lose that lane, but you just won't dominate.
Yeah.
Knowing Roger and the boys, they could still play this Doom on position 4 even, but that kind of did fall out of favor. And usually when you see that happening, it doesn't go too well, especially if you don't find a good creep early on.
Yeah, but at the same time, I see Iceberg, and I see him as a player who does not really like playing Doom that much. So I imagine if he gets an opportunity to get his hands on something else, then he will be more than happy to relinquish Doom responsibilities. But yeah, right now there's this cat and mouse game going on of where these potential mid heroes, are going to go as we look forward to the rest of the bans. Drow Ranger, Faceless Void, going to be banned out by OG, and Oracle and Silencer. Actually, Silencer getting a respect ban from Navi.
That's a lot of our little pairings now gone, right? Now you don't have like the Void plus Phoenix or whatever, the Venge Drow. We don't have the Mag +1. We don't have the Io +1. Even the Chen +1, sort of like Chen Storm. So I feel like whenever I'm drafting versus these early Morphlings, I just try and find whatever is broken that's left. Because like trying to counter Morphling, there's not really a whole lot that does it, you know? It's more like just get a super solid game plan.
They have to ban Spectre here, I think. But knowing OG, they might not. But seeing you have Morphling on your side, you have Earth Spirit that doesn't really pressure Spectre that much as a position 4, and Viper has been banned out by Navi.
Yeah.
I would really like to see a Spectre ban here. If they don't, they might put themselves in a really bad spot, awkward spot. There is still PA in the pool, which is playable, but like Spectre with the Manta Skadi build, I think it's the best thing to play versus Morphling, really. Like you get... let's say you put Doom on a core position. If you get Shivas fast enough and Skadi fast enough on Spectre, this Morphling is not going to have a good game.
Yeah, we saw a couple of different Skadi rushes, right? Versus Morphlings. I can't remember what the other hero was. Was it like a Life Stealer or something? It was something really fast for the hero, but either way.
It was a Life Stealer, and I think we were all skeptical that it was like a Life Stealer into Morphling. We're like, this should be a bad matchup, and then the Life Stealer just got a super fast Skadi.
Yeah.
There's a lot of melee heroes right now buying Skadi versus ranged as well because of the interaction and slowing that attack speed. It's pretty solid. They go with Enigma on OG. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go again, boys.
I told you, the first phase you keep the heart rate kind of low, and now the thump. It's starting to amp up a little bit. I mean, Seb played it earlier in the tournament, but still, it's becoming a little bit trickier to execute as we progress. There's already a lot of easy disable for a black hole just off of Disruptor as a hero alone, but if it is going to be a core Enigma, so it will probably likely get a BKB sooner than most.
Yeah, it's your classic hero to try and enable Unearth Spirit, right? It's like, I can handle myself in the lane, I can do my shenanigans with the pole and everything, so... they do just straight up go back for a super solid hero in the Phoenix. Yeah, it's not a real BKB pierce for the ultimate, but at least it's also just giant team fight if they want to commit with the Enigma too.
Yeah, and it's giant comfort zone. Like when you think about them, it's like so right in the comfort zone. Which makes me think though, is Phoenix going to be a 4 or a 5? Because they now have Disruptor and Phoenix. This Phoenix could be a core 2 or something like that. Because knowing them, it's usually always one of Fly that plays it, right?
Yeah.
90% of the time, which would put Disruptor in a position 4, which is also playable. Like Disruptor position 4 isn't out of this world. We have seen it quite a few times with that Yule's rush or maybe even Aghanim's rush early on. But man, Omni Knight, okay. Everyone is catching up.
Yeah, this hero's suddenly cool all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What makes him cool? At first I thought it was the Heavenly Grace having synergy with strength heroes. But now it just seems that just Heavenly Grace in general. It's that, and then Guardian Angel to be like, hey, you remember that physical damage draft that you were thinking about? Yep, forget about it. You're not going to be able to play it.
Doom's kind of a weird interaction, though, right? Because
because
you like take the damage way faster, right, with the stats resistance. Right. It's a little bit worrisome. But there it is, Lizard. Spectre arrives.
I have a confession to make. Like a week ago, I lost like 3 games in a row on stream. And I get this guy, you probably heard of him, 2B on my team.
Yeah.
And he picks Omni Knight. He picks Omni Knight position 4. I instantly opened the scoreboard on the left and muted him. I was like, I just can't handle this. I just muted him from the get-go. He did quite well, like on that Omni Knight position 4, just running around, purifying, tossing Heavenly Grace, and we won that game in the end. So, but I felt like the hero is so garbage that someone has to be a complete utter edgelord to pick it. You know, just a complete edgelord.
I mean, honestly, that's at least a little bit more normalized than his AM4 position that he was campaigning heavily for years.
Or troll, yeah.
Or troll, that's right.
He's got a solid list of 4s, I have to say. Very impressive.
I miss the times when you could random a position 4. It literally didn't matter what you random. You could make it work because you would buy Boots and Orb of Venom.
Or
right?
Iron Talon.
Okay, or Iron Talon. But if you really wanted to be useful, like no matter what you random, Boots, Orb of Venom, you can win any lane. It was so broken back in the day. The good Sing strategies as well.
This Omni Knight gearing up to be a 5 position, though, and still don't know where this Morphling's going quite yet. Based off of what we're seeing right now, do you think OG's looking for a 1 position, or are they going to be looking for a mid laner right now?
Well, looking at the ban, right? Lifestealer and Jug. At least Navi thinks it's mid.
I would tend to lean that way, too.
Pango.
I was wondering when they were going to bring this back, because they've kind of been crushing it on the Pango lately, and then I feel like they haven't picked it in a little while, unless I missed a game or something. But I was actually just thinking over, like, man, wasn't Navi like really good on Pango? I think they have like a crazy good win rate with the hero.
Yeah, General ran it once in this tournament, but they haven't been relying on it too heavily. More frequently, they've been going to his Beastmaster, but that got banned out, so go to another easy one.
Just try
interesting pickup.
Yeah, try and chain stun down the Morphling.
I'm not the biggest fan of the hero. I still think it can work, but the laning stage itself, yeah, he got buffed up a little bit. The damage is a bit better, so you can lane. You're playing versus Omni Knight, I guess, so you're not gonna suck in the lane. That's kind of nice, right? Like your laning stage should be fine, no matter what core they pick, because you have what possibly. Wait, so this is the mid now, right? 100%,
yeah.
Right?
Unless they see something to make them Pango mid, but I don't think Iceberg does that. I don't. Yeah, I'd be putting the Morphling mid, I think, and just picking a 1. Let's go, Sven. Active Morphling once strikes again.
Yep.
That's right. We've been seeing the resurgence, and a strength hero to pair with Omni Knight's Heavenly Grace always feels very pleasant, especially one that benefits from strength so much like Sven. Seems like pretty comfort roles for both teams. I was worried for OG if they're going to get too weird on me, but it seems pretty typical for them. So I don't know if typical has been working for them given their performance in the tournament, but for Navi, I'm very encouraged. Lizard, how you feeling between these two drafts?
Complete comfort zone on Navi, while OG are trying something a bit. Well, they still have comfort heroes, but they're also playing the meta a little bit with the Omni Knight. I'm not really sure how to put this game. I really think OG can't take it, but Navi have been on a really good roll too. I'll go with OG like 55%, more because of the name than anything else.
I think the idea of this like Morphling and Sven, we've seen from a couple teams where you're trying to split the farm. Like your dire side, which I think is good. So I'm going to look for those 2 camps near the mid lane that you're going to try and stack. And then, of course, the Ancients. But then when those 2 heroes are both trying to farm, that's the hardest part of the game. And I feel like Navi have really good heroes for invading the dire jungle. So I kind of like Navi a bit more.
All right. Well, Lizard was given a 55%, but you can see
Navi.
There we go. We got both sides. EGB has the only true numbers, though. If you want to check that, the banner's below the stream. But we want to hear what's going on in the game, and what better way to bring it than Nomad and 1437.
Thank you very much, partners. Yes, indeed, we are here ready to get into game number 1 in this best of 3 series between OG and Navi. Theban, where do you stand on these drafts?
You know what? I can totally see OG's draft working, Nomad. I can definitely see it. You know, you got the Omni pick from OG and Navi not banning out the Sven. Maybe they were thinking, hey, Phoenix could be good against Sven. But you got the Morphling, though, on the OG side as well. They got a lot of heroes that can work well together. I can definitely see their draft working here.
This may not be the hill you want to walk up, buddy.
Caught.
Yeah, that's going to be a very dead-ass spirit.
Oh,
My
no.
goodness. Oh, God. You've straight into the nest, straight into the eagle's nest. 5 heroes surround him immediately, peck him apart from every direction. That was brutal. Saxa just gets fed to the walls for first blood for Navi. So, not the start they were looking for there, but there you go. At least it's Nurse Spirit. You can roll back into lane plenty quickly, but also first blood for B-Tune is definitely going to feel pretty good for this spec.
Yeah,
Anyways,
most definitely.
yeah, the one thing to say about OG, Enigma, Sven, Morphling, whilst Thompson, we've seen him play this space making Morphling very, very well. You can't get away from the fact that it is fundamentally a greedy draft, and that might mean that Navi can kind of get away with playing this 4-man Dota while VODS just farms his little heart out.
Yeah, most definitely, but Morphling is not going to feel any pressure, at least in this game. They're going to get like maybe a Doom on him at some point, but if he gets that Strength Morph off, he's not going to die. And the Doom himself is not going to be able to pressure him up in this lane. So I think Thompson is pretty much going to have free farm. The lanes that I'm looking at the most here is going to be Seb's lane. The Spectre starting off with First Blood. She's going to have a little bit more gold, looking to buy that Ring of Tarask for this lane. And if Sebs can somehow come out of this lane ahead, like we've seen before in Nigma versus Spectre, then I think OG are going to have pretty huge advantage in this early game.
Yeah, true. The lanes they've got the potential to go very, very well for the side of OG, but of course that First Blood's not going to help things much as the Phoenix gets pretty low in the top lane, just getting harassed down by mid one and No-Tail. Very, very annoying heroes when you get close to them.
Who
talk to me a little bit about the Omni Knight hero.
Right. I think you're just using it as the buffer with the Heavenly Grace, the Purification. I think we've seen Puppy also play this the other day. Yep. Going to be seeing a lot more of this hero, I think. As the patch has been stale for quite some time, everyone is starting to find new little things that they can do. It is a hero that can amplify a carry, so giving it a 50% status resistance and 28 armor, that is not a joke. So as long as your lane can go like 50-50, you're going to be okay having an Omni Knight in your lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty brutal. This guy doesn't mess around. Been out of the patch for some time, but they're bringing it back now. The big boys are playing it, and No-Tail, he wants to get on board this new meta train.
I was going to ask you, was it Liquid Enigma who solo killed Viking Spectre twice, like in 2 different games? If you remember that.
Yeah, I remember the cast. I don't exactly remember which teams were playing.
Right. I believe it was Liquid versus Viking, yeah. And Spectre, one game got solo killed by Mars, the next game got solo killed by the Enigma. So, but the Enigma was there denying creeps against the Spectre, and it's very annoying actually the early game for the Spectre. Later on, not so much. If she gets Black Hold, she can tank it up a little bit and send some damage back to the opponent, but the lane
talking about damage, always want to fly. He's getting taken down pretty low here. He's used that Fairy Fire. Saxa still trying to close the gap, realizes he won't be able to do it. Gonna turn around as Seb's taking a decent amount of damage from V-Tune at the same time as well, so has to chill out a little bit. And Saxa's even going to give his courier the way of V-Tune as well, so that's a little bit of extra gold going the way of the Radiant.
Yeah, great plays there from Always Wanna Fly, absorbing some of that pressure from Dire's off lane, sobbing back up. Nice full everything, pretty much. Ooh.
That's it. Going for the TP away. Should be nice and safe to do that. Gets himself out nice and safely.
Oh, he's not even level 2 yet, so he can't really go to another lane and make a play happen. He's gonna have to walk back bottom. Meanwhile, Seb is gonna have to fight against 2 heroes here.
Yeah, I mean, Enigma is one of those heroes which it feels kind of okay to be left alone, because you've got those Eidolons to go and mess with the pool camps and block and do all that nice stuff. And you can always, of course, revert to jungling these camps as well if needs be, like Seb is doing here. So it doesn't necessarily need to be babysat the entire laning phase, but of course, you know, with Saxa not having that level 2, he's not going to be roaming yet. So already the plan is looking a little bit kind of off-kilter for the side of OG. There's Topson and Iceberg just kind of trading in his mid lane. Topson on the Morphling, Iceberg on the Doom. This is just a farmathon, really. There's going to be a very boring lane, to put it bluntly. Though I say that, Iceberg is already trying to chase down Topson a little bit here, forcing the waveform defensively from the Morphling. Dang, look at this dude. He's just zoning him. He's like saying, hey, oh my goodness, that's a crit.
And those are scary, actually, for the Morphling, yes. Gets hit.
Oh, that was really good. I mean, that was an entire wave of creeps, which just has to die to the tower. Topson really can't do anything about that. Now he jumps in onto Iceberg, trading a couple of hits back as they just continue to trade these two. Man, it feels like they're both really close to dying, but I know like they both know that nobody is close to dying until, because just that's how the heroes work.
Yeah, and there's also Fairy Fire on the Doom. Even if he gets low enough, he's gonna be able to pop that, walk back into the tower, all good. Pretty even laning stage so far. I guess Sven top is doing quite well. 22 last hits. Essentially free farm in this lane. Pango Phoenix, I wouldn't really call this like a super strong lane at all. And Omni Knight has been able to get a couple pulls off here and there.
Yeah, I suppose like the Omni Knight's weakness in the lane is kind of like outdone by
General?
mid one. Oh, the disarm comes through mid one though. He's not going to try and finish the job as he has got those flames on him. Just wants to get back to those creeps and keep farming up over in the tower. Not on the agenda for this Sven. Kind of surprised he did have the brown boots to try and run down General there, but just kind of felt like the risk wasn't really worth the reward in the end. Kind of surprising as Notel comes in. Stun out onto the Phoenix here. They're going to be able to get off the Heavenly Grace and the Purification onto Roger. The right click's coming through from mid one. That's going to be a kill. Going the way of OG up in the top lane. They do manage to bring down the Phoenix after all. This is an absolute wash in the top lane for OG here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want. Right now, all 3 of the cores on OG, top of the CS charts. And bounty runes are about to spawn. Looks like just going to be a very casual 2-for-2 here. And that's what OG needs. You got like these 3 greedy-ish cores that all need many items to have impact. You're going to need to be winning some lanes.
Yeah, for sure, but Sven up in the top lane, getting run down by General and Roger. The right click comes in from the Phoenix, and they are going to be able to kill off mid one. Carry player on OG, sent to the grave. I'm not able to help him out, unfortunately, as he was going for that pull.
Yeah, lucky shot. He got lucky shotted twice, Orb of Venom active, and just so many slows. Got chased down.
Yeah, Top's the real big winner of this laning phase so far, though, as he has just been cleaning up these creeps and then running off to the jungle and securing a small camp as well, really amplifying his farm and just starting to get the ball rolling for himself.
It's going to be very hard for Iceberg to try and, like, pump fake a Doom onto this Thompson. Like, Thompson's going to be so ready for that, right? Like, he's got it skilled up, the Doom. Sometimes we don't even see Doom skill up his ulti. He just goes for the max Scorched Earth and Devour. Just had that threat on the opponent, but never use it. Oh, bottom
lane, always want to fly. Taking a lot of damage here. Gets under the tower, but it's not enough. The damage coming in from OG is just too much for the Disruptor to handle. And he will die down at bottom. Good job by Saxer and Seb.
Seb is getting very strong now in this bottom lane. I think Spectre is going to start being a little scared here, because Enigma is going to be level 6. Black Hole available. Spectre only just got level 5. So can't really haunt out of this lane either. To be a little careful. 2 null talismans on Seb too. Very interesting build here.
Yeah, as Saxo comes rolling on forward once again. There is a TP coming across from the Phoenix to help this one out, though, so they do have to be careful. The Saxo might just get run down by V-Tune regardless. Seb coming in trying to finish off Always Want to Fly, but sees the Phoenix and knows he needs to leave. Meanwhile, V-Tune getting under that tier 1 tower, trying to chase down Saxo and will be able to grab that kill. And now they'll turn their attention to Seb as well. Nigma could be in some trouble, but there's a TP in from Notel. His brother's going to come over, help him out, and Seb is going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, maybe if Notel was able to TP down
top
there
lane,
just
mid
2
one,
seconds
he's in
earlier.
some trouble. General's on top of him.
Again?
In comes a Doom as well, just to finish the job, and they are going to be able to bring down that Sven. Mid one dead again up in the top lane. Nice plays from General.
That was pretty much a solo kill with the Rolling Thunder, essentially. Like, Doom didn't really do anything.
I don't know, dude. 22 damage dealt by Scorched Earth there from the Doom, you know? It's pretty high impact, if you ask me.
Yeah, maybe. And this is what we mean. Sometimes when we have this Pango offlane, it doesn't do a whole lot before its ulti, but once that ulti is up, you just gotta get out of the lane as a carry hero. It's time to go jungle. But mid one, giving a freebie to General here. It's gonna make him get really far ahead. He's gonna have a Javelin very soon, going for the Maelstrom route in this game.
Yeah,
I think it's good build.
Gonna be a scary, scary hero. As,
you know what he's
going
gonna
be? Over in the triangle for mid ones, just go and take real quick. Nicely done by them.
General's gonna be the Enigma Slayer, pretty much. So anytime Enigma shows up in a lane with the Alons, and when they duplicate, he's just gonna go there, get a swashbuckle with his Javelin, and they're all gonna die in one shot.
Kill his
or
children.
You get like your shield crash maxed out later, and then you can just use 2 skills and push out the Enigma's lane. You're gonna get really farmed on a Pangolier. And late game, you can also build Basher, and that's another way to cancel Enigma's Black Hole too.
Yeah, General plans to be very annoying. Or the blink as well works well, doesn't it? You can pop the Rolling Thunder and just blink onto the Enigma's face inside the black hole and cancel it out.
I think if you, I mean, if you get right on top of him, but if you blink into the hole, you're stuck in there.
Well, yeah, you need to be. That's why you need the Blink Dagger, indeed.
Yeah. That
Don't want to mess
it's
that
just
one up.
mainly to cancel the Black King Bar black hole, pretty much. So they're gonna have multiple ways to actually deal with that, like maybe a Spectre Abyssal Blade, Pangolier, Abyssal / Basher, Phoenix Egg, Doom. So I fully expect Seb to just go for some kind of a healing or a bot build in this game, and that's what he's gonna do. He's going for the mech already.
Yeah, we're not expecting any big black holes this game, that's for sure. It's not the game for it. My guy just wants to get some auras, buff up his team, and him and Otal are going to try and make this Morphling and this Sven completely invincible.
Yep, Saksa now has taken over top since mid one wants to stay in the jungle. He's pretty high level now, 5 and some change. Omni Knight just covering and stacking up the triangle area, making sure that if there are any smokes coming in, they're gonna break out.
Iceberg coming up onto the high ground, looking for the bounty rune. They're going to drop down the black hole onto him. They want to try and finish the job here. The disarm out onto the Sven, going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but will still fall as General comes rolling on through, but too late to save his comrade. Hobson's got invis here. He's looking. They might lose Always Want to Fly, and maybe even a little bit more, but Thompson, no, he's actually going elsewhere on the map, whilst the team are going to try and deal with the Disruptor, and they will be able to do so easily. Mid one with the double kill onto both the Doom and the Disruptor. The 2 Ds brought down by the Sven.
That's so scary. Sven plus like the Mask of Madness Sven, and then the Heavenly Grace. It's just running at you. It's a lot of damage. He's doing over 200 damage already.
Yeah, meanwhile, Thompson does find the kill with Saxa here, realizing that there was opportunity across the map. They come in, they blow up Roger together, and that's going to be another kill. But meanwhile, the Doom gets dropped onto the Sven. Do they care? They don't care in the slightest.
They do not. They don't even have a Rolling Thunder. That was a very optimistic play from Iceberg. I'm not sure about that one, champ.
I'm not sure about that one at all. Yeah, mid one's not even going to leave the bottom lane. That Doom did absolutely nothing, and now they jump on top of General. General getting dropped so low. I mean, this is just a Sven without God Strength. He just right-clicking him down. General does have the Swashbuckle, has the ultimate as well. Going to go for the ultimate just to get himself out of danger, making sure he's going to be absolutely safe with the TP, and he will get away.
So the Sven and the Omni alone has pretty much bullied out the position 2, the 3, just with them 2, and now they're gonna get this tower bottom secured. Meanwhile, Enigma, Morphling have just been able to farm up freely. Things are looking very good for OG right now. It's not normal for a Sven to be this active early on. Most of the time we just see him farming, but with the power of the Omni, he feels unstoppable. Look at that damage right now, 270 plus 1,700 HP. My goodness.
Yeah, this is one of the most active Svens I've seen in this patch so far. Like, mid one is just playing some very, very high-tempo Dota, going to make the plays, because he can. No Tail's enabling that. Meanwhile, it's a complete opposite story on the other side of the map. VTune has gone for a Midas, has absolutely zero plans in joining any engagement anytime soon, and just wants to go and farm.
Thompson, oh, the silence on him.
In the fight, oh dear, they drop the silence down onto that Morphling, take him down. Now the Horde comes across, they bring down Thompson, they'll look for more. Sax is going to be the next target here. He does have that Heavenly Grace on him, giving him a little bit of tankiness to try and get away here, but No Tail's going to get run down. Saxa as well. The roll gets blocked out by VTune, and it does look like the Earth Spirit is going to get finished off eventually here as VTune continues to chase. Saxa trying to make his way through the trees, but there's no outplaying this one, I'm afraid. He's going to get killed off, and Navi take a big chunk out of OG, taking down 3 heroes. A huge step forward for their team.
And the mid tower is looking like Navi wants to maybe get some pressure on it. Thompson really not respecting that Disruptor at all. I think he was right in his vision. Didn't expect him to just drop that Static Storm and got caught with his pants down.
Yep, yeah, it's an awkward moment as Thompson, tries to make the space-making Morphling. We've seen it before. He wants to play on the enemy side of the map. He wants to constantly be pressuring Navi, trying to make these surprise plays, find these naughty pickoffs. When it goes wrong, though, it doesn't look great, and that's exactly what happened there. This build's very interesting, though, going for the Dragon Lance into the Aghanim Scepter.
It's great value and stats, and then you get that extra attack range, better positioning in the fights, and then once he gets that Ags, he's going to probably copy either the Sven or the Omni Knight. You're going to get 2 Heavenly Graces. That'll be pretty sick,
I have a feeling it's going to be the Omni.
Yeah, if you have like a Sven Heavenly Grace and a Morph Heavenly Grace, who are you going on? It's a
Exactly.
very tough situation.
Sounds like total carnage.
I feel like in that last fight, if Thompson managed to get his strength shift off and the Disruptor dropped his ulti, like he's not gonna die and nobody else on OG is gonna die either. Then they would have made an insane amount of space because now Static Storm's on cooldown and just got wasted on a morph who was already strength morphing. But you know, sometimes you just don't click it fast enough and you're gonna die. That's the thing about morph.
Sometimes you just drop.
Oh, is this a Roshan play here from OG? Or are they?
Yeah, they want to make a kill and turn
Alright,
into it. They've got double damage on Morph. I always want to fly. She's going to drop that ulti on top of himself and get the glimpse back onto the Morphling, but that's okay. Because he's now got
Roshan
that
play.
DD with the full Agi shift, and Topton's going to be able to take down this Roche with complete ease. Navi, they are bringing themselves over. I think they want to try and do something about this. There's so much damage from the right-click heroes on the side of OG that they need to do something now. General throws in the disarm, manages to land it, but they will get on top of the Pangolier and they're going to be able to bring him down. They say, no, we are doing this, Roshan, and you will not be able to stop us. And Icarus dive away from Roger is going to keep him nice and safe, but mid-one just running straight back into that pit with that God Strength active and with the DD on Morphling. Basically double damages on the side of OG. They will be able to take down Roshan and claim the stages for themselves.
That I would have said normally that's a very like weird Roche doing it against a Pangolier, but then they have the Enigma. He can just drop the black hole inside the pit when the Pango goes in, and they can just right click him down. So no problem there at all for OG. Very nice moment from them with that DD Morphling taking control of this
the
game.
Opportunity and they went for it. First the pickoff into the kill, and such a nice pickoff to find as well. I mean, always want to fly. His ultimate is a big threat this game, as we've seen, onto the Morphling. And Navi now maybe looking for a bit of retribution here. Not quite sure what the plan is, though. Running themselves forwards, Iceberg is just sitting on the front lines, shoving his head. I mean, he's got a BKB, so he's feeling pretty safe as he comes in on this one, and now looks around, throws down the Infernal Blade onto the Sven, but Sven, with that Heavenly Grace on him, is feeling absolutely zero threats as they're going to jump Roger in the backlines instead, and they are going to lose their Phoenix. Thompson grabs that kill, Navi get themselves back. Again, I think they were looking for a Doom target, which wasn't the Sven, but unfortunately, oh no, General as well. He's going to get toasted up here in the top lane. OG find another one, mid one on a killing spree. They're just slapping every hero they see.
Nomad, I'm loving this OG gameplay right now. This is so good. Like their laning stage wasn't as solid as I would have expected, but right now they know exactly what they need to do. They're in full control of the game. These are the scary OG games, right? When they get into this position of the map where they take in all your outer tier 1 towers and they're just controlling you up so hard.
Yeah, they play so damn fast, so damn aggressive, and it is very, very difficult to gather your thoughts and actually play Dota into them. And this whole time, I kind of feel like Vichin just kind of stuck his head in the sand. He's going, you know, guys, I've joined one engagement, that was pretty good. Just keep them off, you know, keep them off our barracks, and we'll be fine. Will they be fine, though? That is the question. How much heavy lifting can this Spectre really do?
I mean, this Midas, it's got to pay off soon, though, right? I rarely see Midas Spectre games do well, but in this game, if you buy Blade Mail, it probably wouldn't have done so much against OG's heroes. Maybe the Enigma Midnight Pulse, but other than that, they don't have a whole lot of like vomiting damage coming out from OG's side.
Yeah, like the Sven and the Morphling, they're going to just stop attacking you. And
yeah.
Even so, they're tanky enough with the Heavenly Grace and not to really care about it. As they actually have got the Doom down onto the Enigma here, but once again, with Heavenly Grace just giving them the tankiness to survive this one, and Always What a Fly has been taken down on the backlines. They're looking over towards the Doom. Iceberg running to the trees, going for the TP out. Not sure they'll find him in time. They will not. Gets himself away on the Doom. I mean, it's something, but again, another Doom just being completely wasted, doing absolutely nothing. This Omni Knight just heals up whoever you cast the Doom on, and all of a sudden, the spell just goes to waste.
No, man, that's like the most feels bad man situation for Dooms, right? You drop a Doom on someone, the enemy pops like one heal on this target, and you just have to run away, right? And if you can't get kills this early into the game with your Doom, you're in a lot of trouble right now. And OG are like, yo, their biggest cooldown spell is done. Let's just walk up into the high ground. 18 minutes into the game.
Oh my goodness, Thompson just fears absolutely nothing right now. With his Aegis jumping in deep, sitting between the two barracks, nestled between them, he is fearing no man. And now he's got that Aghanims. Who's he going to copy? That's the question I want to know. Maybe we're going to see double Superman Sven. Maybe we're going to see double Heavenly Grace. I'm not sure. We shall see. Iceberg has a double damage. This is making absolutely zero enemies scared of him, unfortunately, because those right clicks are just not coming off.
18-minute racks. That's it.
Easy
It's
peasy.
gone.
Yep.
What?
Vici.
There was a racks there.
Yeah.
Where is it now? My goodness.
Still
Navi.
just hanging out in that jungle. Manta now completed for V-Tune. He has his first item, but unfortunately enemy has taken their first barracks, so that's not good.
Guess what's back, Nomad? Sven Omni
What's
Knight.
back? Oh dang. The combo which
It's
has
back.
risen its naughty little head a few times over the years seems to be making its resurgence.
I mean, this game has pretty much just been Sven Omni Knight, like all over, right? The Morphling, the Enigma, they're nice, but I think even if there were other heroes instead of this Enigma and Morphling, it would have been the same exact result. They played so well top lane, they went bottom, they dominated that, they got like so much pressure on middle. Morphling with the DD taking Roshan, that was pretty nice. But other than that, we just got to give so much credit to this combo right now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the Aegis will now run out. I mean, maybe there's a possibility for Navi to make a counterplay as they have those ultimates coming off cooldown. They have Haunt in 1 second, and that is all green lights for Navi. I'm not sure these green lights mean go. These green lights mean go right now, though, as there is still a huge threat on the side of OG in the form of this Sven, the form of the Enigma. Oh, it just straight up pops the God Strength to push some towers. Okay, mid one. He wants to take down some buildings, making his intent very, very clear to Navi. He's saying, we're coming for your high ground. You better bring something to defend this, otherwise we are just going to take everything.
Well,
Or at
if
least
they
another
don't
tier
want to
2
fight,
take first.
you might as well use your ulti just to push the tower then. Their
Yep,
goal lead
very-
is not that significant though for OG. I guess that's mostly because they've spent a lot of time investing into these objectives on the map. That being said,
Yeah.
it was completely worth it because there's a big hole in Navi's base on the bottom side. And all they got to do now is just wait out for another Roshan possibly. Oh, Navi, they
smokes
know
get
there's
popped.
no
They
God
don't
Strength.
make the jump though, not yet. They're waiting, and now they jump in.
Iceberg.
Doom comes down onto the Omni Knight. They managed to get that Heavenly Grace used up, but who else can they find as they drop the black hole onto both of the cores? It's already cancelled. Does look like it comes in just in the last second. Iceberg's still alive, but might just get down to the right clicks. No, he's still okay. Meanwhile, General just comes bowling ball through. Enigma and Sven just completely controlled. They could have the damage, but no, they turn around onto the Pangolier. Pangolier is going to lose his life. Meanwhile, mid one gets himself away, but they're actually out of heroes on the side of Navi. Everyone just gets taken down as the split fight does not go Navi's way. V-Tune will just try to leave. Thompson trying to find him, stealing that Earth Spirit form.
He found him.
Trying to track down V-Tune and might have just found him here. Continuing the chase.
This Arcane Rune Earth Spirit form is insane.
God. Get me out. What is
What?
this?
He just rolled around like this and found the Spectre. My goodness.
Infinite rolls. What the hell? And now they find him, V-Tune. He does not know what just happened to him, but he's going to get his axe scrambled up in the top lane as they will lose V-Tune. OG eventually take down everybody in a hugely successful fight. I mean, it looked good for Navi. They jumped in. They managed to get the Doom onto that Omni Knight, that key target you want to take out of the engagements. But unfortunately, the Spectre and the Doom just get black holed up together. The cancel came in just a little bit too late, and from then on out, it just didn't really look possible for the side of Navi to actually turn that fight.
Yeah, that was all set. He's got this Glimmer Cape, drops it on the Omni, grieves him up, Black Holes, cuts off the path to the Omni Knight, and you can't really do anything after that. It just was too much for Navi. The damage output from OG is still very, very high, and then we clearly saw Thompson taking the form of the Earth Spirit and literally rolling across the map like this. Like, he didn't walk. He literally just rolled all through that to find that Spectre with the Arcane Rune.
Ulti dropped onto the Earth Spirit here from Always Want to Fly. They want to try and take down this Earth Spirit, but unfortunately the guy's just too damn tanky with that Glimmer Cape on top of him. Now mid one's coming in, looking for a bit of retribution, forcing the BKB out from Iceberg as Morphling come through on the backlands, fighting 1v4. This might not work out too well for him. They'll drop down the Supernova onto Thompson. Meanwhile, Always Want to Fly has been taken down, but they will trade the Morphling for it. Pretty good pick off for the side of Navi, punishing the over-aggression from, but they've still going here. Mid one wants to take down the Phoenix, and we'll be able to do exactly that. V-Tune trying to bring down mid one here, but I don't think he's winning this fight. Iceberg comes into the backline, trying to disrupt Notel, but he's already gotten after that Heavenly Grace, and now dropping down the Guardian Angel as well, meaning they're just taking absolutely no damage. V2 needs to get himself away. Saxa's still chasing. Sven goes for the back instead, kills off General. Mid one, it's a triple kill right now. This Sven is an absolute beast. There is no bringing them down, even though they lose their Morphling. OG, they realize how strong they really are and just keep the fight going. But a glimpse back onto Seb could bring him into a bit of trouble here. He is under the vision as they get on top of the Enigma, but in comes Superman up onto that high ground. They might try and take down the Doom as they get on top of Iceberg. The right click's coming on through the silence of rocks. It will be there, and it will be enough to kill off Iceberg. Another hero brought down by the side of OG. Will they finally leave? Or is it going to be yet another bait from this team as they think about it, but now they get themselves back?
Did the best they could. They killed the Morphling at least, but maybe they could have just backed off, reset it a little bit. Didn't expect mid one to just fly right in, not caring that Thompson is dead. But
No.
hey, that's all they need. They only need mid one to be alive and just right-clicking heroes. He is enormous. He's got AC already. Jeez.
Jesus Christ. Sven is completely dominant. As long as Notel's alive as well, you know, Notel needs to be able to cast his spells, and Sven needs to be alive, and that is like, these two heroes could probably feel like they could take on 2 versus 5 in this game. So damn scary.
I can't even say like Navi played poorly in this game or something of that sort. I think OG just crushed it with this combo, and Sven was like the perfect last pick up here in this draft against Navi's heroes. Morphling and Enigma are like the fake threats essentially in the game that Navi also have to deal with, but then they don't have enough to play against this.
Iceberg onto the high ground, immediately gonna get stunned up by mid one, and they just jump on top of him and take him down. The Doom is out. Not even a chance to pop his BKB as Thompson comes forward, looking for the +1, trying to bring down the Pangolier, and should be able to do exactly that. Jumping on, feeling that Earth Spirit form, getting on top of V2 once again. V2 trying to turn around Thompson. Thompson needs to back himself away. Could be in some trouble. Once again, getting punished for this overextension, but they can't actually get through him in time. He's too damn tanky, and now they're turning around to V2. V2's gonna die instead, and that is 4 heroes dead on the side of Navi. OG don't lose a single dead hero, and a celebratory Seb Black Hole. Reminiscent of previous Black Holes there, maybe, but the GGs get popped. OG dominate Navi in this first game in this best of 3 series. I mean, that is how you do it, folks. What a game, what a draft, and what an absolute smackdown from OG. That was a clinical execution.
Now, I don't think Navi is going to give away this combo again next game. Or they might just like ban out Omni or something straight up, because they really didn't understand how this hero works, how they needed to play against it. And OG, I think this is actually their comfort zone at the moment.
It really is, yeah. I mean, this looked pure confident. It makes sense as well, you know, Omni Knight, Sven, 2 heroes which can just kind of shove their faces into the faces of the side of Navi. That sounds like OG all over. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad they managed to get it off this game. I don't think we'll be seeing it again from them. You know, I think this is probably going to be a first phase ban kind of thing in the future. Or maybe not a first phase ban, but, you know, you never just want to give these 2 heroes together away to an enemy team, because that just looked downright broken. Like, that looked really hard to play into. But it wasn't just the Sven and the Omni Knight which were doing that much work. You know, even though Thompson did die a few times from his overextensions, you know, that's kind of what we've come to expect from Thompson. But, like, the space and the benefit he gives to his team by playing this aggressive Morphling, which is constantly on the enemy side of the map, hunting heroes while somehow still finding loads of farm, that's really impressive as well, isn't it?
Most definitely, and I hope OG has something else up their sleeve too, you know, for game number 2, because I love this kind of OG. When they get the right heroes and they play the map out, it's just beautiful to watch.
Alrighty, well, Navi, get their eggs scrambled like you're preparing a delicious omelette, but fear not, as there's plenty more ingredients to come in this meal. Enjoy a short break, then we're going to be back with a panel, and then we'll be back with game number 2 of OG versus Navi here at the Epic League.
EGB, your esports betting world. The only place to find the widest choice of popular games and matches to win real money. Choose your bet on a single event or express of several matches with dizzy odds. Serving the market for 7 years with over 800,000 users. Join now to get your bonus for the first deposit up to $600. EGB, you know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back to the post game of that rousing bout between Navi and OG, game number 1. Now, Trent, for our viewers at home, definitely not me.
Yes.
Let's say that you weren't watching the first half of this tournament. You know,
Yes.
I've been watching the whole time. You know, but let's say you haven't been, and you saw this game, and you were like, "This looks like OG." Where was this not happening? Because you know, I look at this game and I'm like, "This looks like typical OG." Was this not happening for the first half of this tournament, Trent?
One could say not so much. Maybe the picks were a little bit more unusual. Like I would say this is mostly like meta picks from OG, for example, whereas at the start of the tournament they seem to be going a little bit further out there. It feels like the more they're a little bit reined in, the better the games look for them. So, yeah, I mean, they just look way more stable in matches like this. And previously, they didn't quite look like that, whereas Navi have been the opposite of a game like this because they've been absolutely destroying this whole tournament. Mind you, they've also had Chen Rubik like every game. And finally, it's being taken away from them in these past 2 series.
So was that it, Lizard? Was it just a matter of stability and picks for OG was all that they needed? And that's all the secret sauce to just being able to play their Dota? Or was it Navi kind of dropping the ball a little bit in this game?
Navi never really held the ball in this game.
Yeah.
They were never really in any control. And when you look at their draft, you were thinking, okay, it's much less greedy than OGs, and they should be online faster. They should be dictating the tempo of the game, but it never happened. They lost 2 tier 1 towers at minute 10. Like, how are you gonna play if you don't take their one safe lane by minute 20? You have no space on the map. This game was extremely easy for OG to play because they had these towers. All 3 of their towers were standing still throughout the game, tier 1s that is.
Yeah.
And then you just put the hero that you want Doom up front with Omni Knight behind. That Doom is so bad versus Heavenly's Grace. It's or versus anything really that saves the target, right? Like your Abaddons, your Oracles, your Omni Knights, all these Wisps, all these heroes make Doom's life harder because they save the target from the team fight, and then that target can rejoin it afterwards. Heavenly Grace works even better because the Doom doesn't last that long. So you can just join the fight in like 5 seconds after. They just outplayed them really hard.
Yeah, that poor Doom. Iceberg felt like he was on an island. I remember that one Doom that he did when he TP'd down to the bot tier 1, doomed Sven, and Sven just kind of walked back to Omni. And he was like, hey buddy, you want to tag me in real quick? Give me the Gatorade. Shoves it in his face like, all right, I'm good to go again. And unsurprisingly, OG finds success with the hero, and they will go back to it right away with their very first pick.
Yeah, it's just not a really fun Doom game at that point. Again, I pointed out to China like this idea. Whenever people were first picking Doom, people were instantly answering with the Morphling. So I saw all of these matches of Morphling versus Doom, and it was always the same story. If they wanted to try and put that Doom in the mid lane, where it's like Morphling gets enough farm, and suddenly you just have a Morphling that can like just be fine. If you have to go Lincolns, if you start losing the game, you can just go Lincolns on the Morphling, and then it's like, oh, okay, we're good. But you know, if you're OG and you're really good at Dota, or you have Heavenly Grace, you don't need it. Yeah. Now finally, no, 100%.
I was just waiting. Yeah, like if there's an Omni Knight in the game, you have to answer to it somehow. And Rubik historically is one of the best answers to Omni Knight.
And he's actually way better than he used to be, because he didn't used to even have the arcane supremacy back when we would see all these Omni Knights countered by Rubik, right?
Yep,
it's pretty cool.
That's very true. And now you have the Rubik to steal everything from the Omni Knight, use it on your team. Rubik isn't the strongest laner. Even though he's fine with Fate Bolt, he can mess with your damage, he can secure the range creep lasted. I wouldn't say that he's any weaker than a position 4 Phoenix in the laning stage. He might be even stronger. So decent opening. I love this from Navi. Like this looks much better. Ancient Apparition Rubik, it's very solid. Answers both of these picks from OG.
Yeah, I've seen a variety of approaches of responding to a Morphling. Some of them seem to be like going on heavy on silence or instant disable and being able to just take this Morphling by surprise. Or you go the heal mitigation route, early Shivas, Scotties, Spirit Vessels, or just toss in an AA, your all-purpose fix. Don't have to worry about it getting really countered at any stage of the game. The only thing is that you usually want to be able to pair it with some sort of global potential, like a Tiny who can surprise from afar. So far, Navi only showing their support duo at the beginning, but what do you think OG are trying to look to protect this Morphling? Or are they even interested in protecting this Morphling? As we saw last game, it was mainly the Sven show.
Yeah, that's the question, is how much stock do you now put in your Morphling? Because now, theoretically, you should be putting even less into your Morphling. But Morphling's a hero that needs a certain level. But even double Wraithband, Dragonlance, and then like slowly piecing towards either the Aghanims or the E-Blade is still going to be a pretty effective mid as long as you have a decent matchup. So I guess my number one condition right now for OG would probably be trying to like put this Morphling in the mid lane. So I don't think it's worth trying to go all in on Morph versus AA.
And they ban out the Sven now. So Navi if you're thinking this way, they probably understand it too. Morphling in that last game as well, he was a problem, but it was the Sven show, like you said, Tsunami. He's the one that really dominated. Morphling just made space. So it's really important that Navi now answer that potential carry that's coming from OG. But they also haven't really revealed their cores at all, which makes that a little bit easier. They can still play around that. One problem for them, however, is the fact that they can't have any combos with their support +1. Like Ancient and Rubik, these aren't really heroes that make your carry incredibly strong. They're just heroes that are good for the game. So you can't go for Venge Drow. You can't go for Magnus is banned out already, obviously. So
Yeah, it kind of makes you think about like the laning duos like Centaur Rubik or AA plus a stun. But I mean, CK's decent. Wraith King's fallen off pretty hard. You banned the Sven yourselves.
Slark for V-Tune, perhaps?
It's a good call. Like Slark is still an option, but Spectre is still in the pool, and that Spectre in the last game looked solid. It's just the whole lineup around her and the Doom that didn't work out. Spectre still in a couple of moments really threatened Tops, and if not even killed him once.
How'd you feel about the Midas rush as opposed to the Blade Mail rush that we so frequently see?
5 seconds remaining.
Not the biggest fan. Like there's a reason. To be honest, I didn't even, because I wasn't watching in the game. I was watching on screen. I didn't notice that he went for Midas first. But, it's nothing super extraordinary. Like it has been played before. It's all right, but Blade Mail just allows you to join these fights. Doesn't matter how bad your lane. Maybe he did it because he was versus Enigma and he was losing a lot of those creeps to denies.
I think that might be partially why too.
Yeah.
They end up going for a General Mars, so got a little bit of combo potential if it wants to be a 4 AA. Rubik has been played by Roger and always want to fly in this tournament so far, so there's some flex potential, but if you want to do a stun setup into Cold Feet, then you may have some potential with your Mars.
I think his position for Rubik like 90%. I always want to fly. He's your captain. He's a skilled player, but he's not really the flashiest one. And
he's been playing Rubik out of necessity, so Roger could play the Chen, right? For like the entire set. But he even said in the interview, he's like, "Yeah, it's something we're trying," you know.
Yeah,
and they were winning a lot.
Yeah.
OG now need to make the decision of, like you said, Trent, how much stock to put in this Morphling. A lot of the carries that they rely on, Sven gonna get banned out, but they will instead go for the Spectre.
How sneaky.
That's next level. I love this draft from OG right now. Like taking away the Spectre. You were talking about global potential with Ancient Apparition. Spectre is also nice. It's not the greatest. You can't really just set up, and they go with the Doom again. Man.
Okay. All right. Well, we're committing for the mid Doom though. At this point, I guess they like the matchup. Maybe Iceberg thinks he can do something more to improve it again and see if he can actually. He had some good moments with the wave, right?
How'd you feel about? So is mid Doom versus Morphling very creep dependent? Because that Alpha Wolf seemed like it was doing.
He got a Wolf, man.
Yeah, it was nice.
He got a Wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, there are two creeps that really help out Doom in the laning stage. You either get the Wolf or the Ice Augur.
Right.
And like whichever one you get, it will make your life way easier on the mid lane. But he still did well in the mid lane, but the Omni Knight was a huge problem for them. They really couldn't play the game. Like when you're forced, like look, he now has Morphling and Spectre that he needs to Doom, one or the other, right?
Yeah.
But in that last game, he had Morphling or Sven, and he was still, even Enigma, and he was still dooming the Omni Knight because he knew if I don't Doom that measly position 5, my hero is useless. And now they go again for it. Measly, like
you measly puppy.
Little Omni Knights.
I not a fan of this pick of after watching the last game, but maybe they'll surprise us with some different gameplay this time around.
I like the Bat ban. I was trying to think of like some Seb lane dominators that aren't Timber, because I think Timber's a little dicey. But I think that's the way that you want to go for OG right now, right? Like, I mean, I guess the Enigma is still in.
Yep.
No, it's first phase. It's second phase banned by Navi.
The Enigma is second phase banned right up there in the top left, as you can clearly see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Just making sure you're paying attention.
I saw he was playing some Death Prophet. Again, clearly I've been watching the whole tournament, but what does he do with the Death Prophet exactly? Is that a lane dominator kind of, or is it more of a tempo setter, objective pusher kind of hero that he's been going for in that offlane DP?
Yeah, I'd say it's like a major game plan style hero. That's just like we need to take objectives at some point. And I mean, they are lacking that right now for sure. And it is a really good combo with the Omni Knight. So there is some potential there, especially when you have to pick it blind.
I love the Alchemist ban because right now, for me, OG feels completely set. They have a good draft, just like in that first game. Like you see this Morphling Inspector, and you're thinking, "Oh, my God, this is crazy.
Greedy.
This is so greedy." And that also is a fair point. Like Spectre is a bit greedier than Sven. You can't really farm. You can farm the Ancients with Blade Mail, but you can't really effectively farm the stacks. And the game might be a little bit harder for them, but still, I just love this interaction that they have going with Omni Knight.
I think
versus Doom.
Navi have the right idea though with the Centaur and the Bat though, because the initiation's bad, and that leaves in the Darkseer. So it is a good combo with the Earth Spirit, but it's also Darkseer.
Yeah, you say leaves in as in like, oh, you've missed the Darkseer, you fools. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
I don't see this hero like at all. What is this? It is pretty good in the lane, and you were looking for a lane dominator, but his efficacy has dropped off dramatically in recent months.
Well, he was standing out because of the Earth Spirit. It's just like the obvious, like, okay, are they gonna do the Iron Shell combo?
Okay.
But then you just look at Darkseer lately, and you just think like, is that even worth it? Like, sure, they don't have the Dispel, but we go back for the V-Tune Lifesteal, which we're very known for at the start of this tournament.
By the way, the Darkseer isn't a lane dominator overall. Like that hero sucks in the lane. It's like
he's like
later on what he.
Yeah, he's like a freeing up space for the Earth Spirit kind of hero.
Like you can Iron Shell the Earth Spirit perhaps and then kill the AA, but besides that, the lane can be really difficult for you as Darkseer. But you get another hero that I really like versus Doom. I've talked to a couple of drafters, and this interaction between Doom and Darkseer, like if you Doom the Darkseer, then yes, the Doom is good versus him. But if you Doom anyone else, that target just gets surged, and your Doom is pretty much wasted. Plus, you have counter initiation with Vacuum Wall. So I like the Darkseer overall, but their draft is really, really greedy once again for OG. And if the lanes don't go well, like Navi can stomp them. But
you leaned 55% last time. Which way is the Doom pick looking even worse than game one? Or
I liked. There are some silver linings now for Navi. They do have the Rubik versus the Omni Knight. They are playing versus the Darkseer, which isn't in the best spot, but it is Darkseer is Spirit. I'll still go 56% this time around for OG.
57% for Navi.
Thank you. I need
58.
definitive numbers. And the only place I get my definitive numbers is egb.com. You can check the banner below the stream if you want the numbers. But if you want the cast, then you stick around here and listen to Nomad and 1437.
Howdy, folks. Yep, thank you very much as we get into game number 2 in this best of 3 series. And joining me is my partner, of course, 1437, joining us for this cast. How are you going? How are you doing, dude?
Doing all right. We're gonna see another action-packed game here, so I'm very excited for that. Navi didn't get to play game number 1, but I think they're gonna be able to play this game.
You feeling a little bit more hopeful that Navi are going to be able to actually click their buttons this time around?
Oh yeah,
OG didn't let them last time.
Yeah, they did not. I think this time around, the Lifestealer, he's going to have a pretty free lane bottom against the Darkseer, so he's going to be extremely farmed. Then you got this Apparition against Morphling. Even if there's an Omni on your team, it's not ever going to be like a comfortable matchup. So there's a lot of room for error, I think, on Navi's side, and they can like really punish OG too.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I am worried about this Lifestealer pick is that they've given the Morphling a BKB, which does seem like it could be a concern, especially when we're looking at, you know, the heroes like the AA, heroes like the Rubik, heroes like the Mars. You know, I feel like if the Morphling is able to get his hands on this Lifestealer's Rage, then it's going to free him up quite a lot in these team fights, worryingly. But that said, V-Tune Lifestealer is just hyper comfort. I mean, he has played this hero more than anybody else, I'm fairly sure, in this patch. He has been absolutely fiending the Lifestealer.
Oh yeah. I think there are players right now who are actually studying his Lifestealer, figuring out his item builds and such in some situations. There are games where he went to Battle Fury, there's a game where he went like second item Scotty. So there's some really cool builds that he has on this hero. And I think once Roger manages to steal the Heavenly Grace and throws it onto either his Doom or his Lifestealer, the fights are going to be extremely hard for OG.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's also another factor to consider. They got the better Rubik, actually, on the Radiant side. Oh, sorry, they got the better Omni Knight, not the Rubik.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they got the better
Omni
Omni
Knight.
Knight.
With that.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. That's all I'd say.
Yeah. So the counter to Omni is Omni himself. Steal his spells if possible. Who are the big Doom targets this game? It's got to be the Omni and the Darkseer, right?
Yeah, it has to be. I think Spectre or Morph, if you doom them, they're just gonna get surged out of there, so that's gonna be pretty annoying. But if you can get rid of like the Guardian Greaves, the Surge in the fight, or the Omni's Heavenly Grace, then you're gonna be able, the fight will just play itself out after that. But early on, though, I fully expect Iceberg to like try and get a kill on this Morphling, or Spec just dropping dooms on them.
Yeah. I mean, it's early game when you hit that level 6, you just kind of rotate with the Doom, drop it on whoever you can just finish off. Then later on in the team fights, you need to be a bit more selective about your targets on Iceberg. But obviously proving that, you know, he didn't see this Omni Knight as a big counter to him, even though it felt like that from us watching the game. But the gut feeling of Iceberg was that, no, I can still play this hero. I'm still comfortable to try and play into this Omni. Very interesting. Meanwhile, No-Tail maybe in some trouble. It's just a little poking. A general few pokes from General. Keeping him awake.
I still can't figure out how these Morphling players feel so confident to play against an Apparition. It's like this looming terror, you know, over your head the entire game. That if you get hit by an Ice Blast or it just grazes you and someone jumps you, you're just gonna die.
Yeah,
that's
you just can't
inevitable.
strength morph.
It's like removing the one part of this hero that's just absolutely broken. So. But, you know, they do it. I've heard from Morphling players that they don't sometimes care about Apparition. So we'll see what Thompson's going to do in this game.
I guess on the flip side, like, you know, you're just such a mobile hero that it's very hard to actually finish him or catch him even with the Ice Blast unless you're right in his face or there's some lockdown to start things off, which is obviously going to give you the warning you need to start popping that strength shift. I think it's very difficult just to land a naked Ice Blast onto a Morphling. Without the setup, and then once that setup comes in, he's just going to start morphing strengths. He knows what's going to happen. So maybe that's what makes it easier, or maybe it's just, you know, as I said before, a lot of this time it does just come down to gut reads. You know, you say Thompson, hey Thompson, do you mind playing Morphling into Ancient Apparition? He's like, yeah, sure, no problems. I'm fine with that. Oh, okay then. Guys played more enough Morphling to know what it's good and bad against.
Exactly. It's massive tier Morphling. This mid lane has been going so much better too for Iceberg this time around. He's found a wolf creep once again, is at the top of the network or the last hit charts right now against this morph. Last game was the other way around. So definitely learning from that matchup.
Yep. Once again, get those scary crits. I swear he just keeps dropping Thompson so low with the occasional crit. But, you know, Thompson's always ready. He's not leaving himself in one-shot range, of course. Iceberg actually getting very low as he kind of trades hits with the Morphling here. But, of course, Morphling gonna have to morph strength, and that's gonna reduce his damage in the lane, which gives Iceberg a decent advantage.
Bottom Apparition.
Oh my goodness, he's getting very low here. Always want to fly. Seb's gonna be able to run him down. The Fairy Fire comes out, but it doesn't make a difference. Seb will draw first blood. Meanwhile, Saxa could be in some trouble with V-Tune here. V-Tune trying to finish the job, but these Iron Shells actually doing a decent amount of damage to the Blight Stealer as well. They're gonna roll into him. They want to try and finish the job, and they will do exactly that. Seb gets a double kill down in the bottom lane. The first 2 kills of the match, they both go to this Darkseer. Incredible stuff from OG in the bottom lane.
That is not expected at all. This is an absolute free farm lane for Lifestealer where it doesn't die. It's very, like, it's so similar to that Mud Golems game where Skitter just walked into the jungle, tried to fight with the support, and ended up dying. Seems like that's the no-no zone for the carries right now. Just don't walk into the jungle for fights.
Getting violent flashbacks from that game where we did indeed have Skitter dying twice in a row, then didn't have the TP, and then it was just laying over from that point. But hopefully V-Tune's going to keep his head nice and cool and not make any rash plays, just keep it together and farm. Exactly. That's all he needs to do. All you need to do is farm.
He just has to send the lane, deny creeps. He was doing such a great job. He had 9 denies against his Darkseer already. But right now he's only low. Oh, mid! He got him! He got him with the Doom.
Oh no, there it comes. Iceberg pops the level 6 Doom onto the Morphling, and Thompson wasn't ready for it. Big plays from Iceberg. I'm not sure if that was just like the moment he hit level 6, he just downright casted it, or what.
Yeah.
But either way,
it might have been the moment he hit level 6. But I think
so.
If that was the case, Thompson most of the time he's ready for that. You know, he knows like that's the one chance this Doom has at killing him. But again, that's the thing about Morph. You slip up one time, you're just dead.
You are indeed.
to
Yeah.
live with
Another
it.
thing I've seen Dooms do. Oh, well, I was gonna say another thing I've seen Dooms do is cast Infernal Blade on a creep, and then pump fake it, and then doom them instead. That's a really interesting way you can get Doom off on someone without them being ready for it. Is if you pump fake the Infernal Blade, 'cause it's got a very similar animation to do. But he doesn't have a point in Infernal Blade, so it couldn't have been that. So basically, just keep ignoring me, guys.
2k gold advantage for Navi already in this game. Even though they did feed 2 kills bottom. What's going on here? Let's click the net worth. Oh, that Doom is 1,000 gold ahead of the Morphling right now. That is insane. Yep. And the Leicester still ahead bottom, even though he did die. So still looking good. It's just the death that gave Seb a lot of net worth. He's 2-0, but still trailing behind the Lifestealer.
Yeah, it's very rare you see like these mirror matchups kind of go the complete opposite way the second time around, but it does make sense as, you know, he knows what he did wrong. He has a chance to learn from it
exactly.
and come back in game number 2 with a fresh idea on how to take it. Meanwhile, Navi fighting in the river here, trying to get on top of Seb. Seb does have a vacuum to drag, always want to fly down from that cliff. Can they get him frozen solid? They can, but VTune's given up the chase. Just wants to get back to his lane and go and farm himself up.
It's very fortunate that Iceberg found the wolf creep like right into his medium cap. I think that helped him so much in this lane.
Yeah,
Allowed to
bonus
deny
damage.
some extra creeps. Yeah, exactly. And get level 6 faster. Things tops in now. It's just gone back into the jungle as if nothing happened. That's all he has to play like, pretty much.
Yep, yeah, just keep on trying to farm up as much as he can. Try and hit like a nice early timing on a couple of his items. And then
Top Iceberg. Oh, another Doom.
Presence. Yeah, they've got it down to the Spectre, but guess what? No Tails here to try and heal him up. Is it going to be enough, though? With General and Iceberg on top of him,
And
the
a
Surge
Surge.
comes in. Seb is there to save the day. And now they're looking for a bit of retribution. They get on top of the Mars. They silence him up. Saxa throwing the stone through as well. Seb getting on top of him. Pops down the wall. They've got these Iron Shells out. One and a second one coming on through. The vacuum will finish the job onto General. And they might even be looking for Iceberg as well here. I mean, these Iron Shells are just kind of slowly ticking him down. He hasn't got a Scorched Earth for another 10 seconds. The
kick in
TP's coming on over. The carry's coming over to this fight, but the Horn gets popped. They will be able to drop Iceberg, and now Vichin, he's not that healthy either. But OG, they don't have the resources to keep on going for this one, so they are going to back themselves away, especially with always want to fly, TPing and through. In fact, might be looking for a kill here, but Saxa gets the roll away. Roger didn't have the lift, and Saxa gets himself out on a very low amount of HP, but all the same will survive. And they get nothing for this on the side of Navi. All these TPs up to the top lane, all these resources wasted, and they get nobody.
Yeah, I don't know if that was General asking for help while he was dying, or Iceberg just decided that maybe he can try something, but going in to help General after Darkseer Earth Spirit have already TP top was a big mistake, putting himself in a very weak position, forcing his team to TP and try to save his position to Doom. And that's a lot of advantage lost for Navi now. And I think it's also going to be the last time Iceberg is dooming a core, apart from the Darkseer. Because you saw exactly what's going to happen if you doom anybody else. Heavenly Grace, Surge, and they're out of there.
Yeah, I mean, he thought he could get away with it. You know, it's early on in the game. He was like, yeah, you know, they won't respond that heavily, but we can maybe bring him down in time. It wasn't the case. Heavenly Grace, Purification, these spells are too good. Well, it's good to see my boy Omni back in the popularity contest.
I hate
doing
this
some
hero.
rounds.
It's like one of the most boring heroes in Dota 2, you know, it just sits
Do agree,
somewhere,
mid one
just
having troubles down in the bottom lanes. They pop the arena and down along with the cold feet.
top lane too.
Bit of a mistake from mid one. Meanwhile, as right up at top, VTune having similar issues. Okay, all right. If both carries die, then neither carry dies, right?
Yeah, he didn't go for the infest play into that one creep that was there. I think he didn't notice there was a creep there.
Possibly.
I believe he would have been able to live through it. But yeah, both carries dying top and bottom. They thought this was a safe zone. It definitely was not.
Was not. This was a trap. Well, now things going to be still looking quite Navi favored on that net worth chart, but of course when we look at Iceberg, he's playing Doom, he had a great time in lane, and he is carrying a lot of that bonus from his team. And once again, just phase, drums, BKB. It's what we're seeing from every Doom right now when they go mid.
Yeah, it's a very solid build. You get quite a lot of stats from this. extremely tanky. Mid one, oh, it looks like he's gonna get doomed.
Old prediction. Let's see if it comes true. Mid one just getting himself
The
over to
dagger.
the trees. Has that dagger to get himself away. Oh, the spear from General, though, connects. And now he could be in some real trouble as he's going to get his truffle down in the bottom lane by the side of Navi. Mid one goes down. Sep, though, he pops a wall. Looking for a return kill onto General. Might be able to make it happen as they go in with the vacuum and roll combination. And that's going to put an end to General. Icebar's now popped onto Saxa. They're trying to fight this one up, but the Magnetize has come down. Icebar doesn't care, though. He takes that Saxa down with a big fat crit. They will lose their Spirit as well. OG, they try to respond, but it doesn't go well. They get the Mars, but they lose their Spirit, and more importantly, their big Spectre taken down as well.
Completely worth it for Navi. They dropped the Doom too, but that's okay. Spectre, such a huge kill. I mean, the different. This mid one Spectre versus the mid one Sven from last game. It's so. It's like day and night, right? I mean, Omni doesn't really synergize as well with Spectre than he does with Sven in the early game. So not a whole lot of tempo for OG this time around. So they're going to have to rely so much more on Thompson actually to be able to bring that tempo to their lineup.
Yeah, and once again, it seems like he's going for the exact same build. He's got that Dragon Lance on the way. He's got that Aghanims queued up. Wants to turn into that Earth Spirit and continue just being broken, basically. he wants to become that broken Earth Spirit again.
I want to see double surges, you know, like Spectre surge and then Morphling surges himself, runs in. They could have pretty much like 4 active Ion Shells, you know, at the same time. And just
You're right, but at the same time, I'm fairly sure Thompson just wants to turn into Earth Spirit again. I don't think there's much.
He wants to turn into Earth Spirit, yeah. Wants to get right on in there and kill that apparition before he gets his ulti off.
Oh, yeah.
The Rubik. I mean, that's pretty much their plan, I think, with the Spectre, right? They're gonna use the Haunt. They're gonna jump always wanna fly, so he can't ulti and kill Morphling. And then Thompson's gonna into the team fight. So as long as you shell and you surge the spec, I think he's gonna be able to accomplish that almost every fight.
Yeah, and of course, Spectre's not going to have the same kind of game impact as a Suspended last game. You know, just a fundamentally different hero. It's going to be more about just keeping mid one alive as he goes for these deep dives rather than making the quick kills happen, the bursting heroes down, the crazy high intensity gameplay we saw last game around.
I'm glad we figured it out, at least Nomad. How OG are going to deal with this apparition problem for Thompson. I mean, he's only died once, right? And that one time was to the Doom. So for like 3 minutes now, he's been level 6 on the A, and they have not been able to find a kill on Morph yet.
No, Thompson's been having, even though he had a pretty rough lane, he's still been having a relatively okay game. It's actually mid one after those 2 deaths who's really been struggling now. Who are we expecting to make the next plays then?
I think Navi, they want to make a smoke play, maybe try to take out the mid tower. They have the Doom up again. BKB ready to this time around. And they really want to be able to open up this mid area of Thompson. It's going to be seen. There's a Heavenly Grace already on him. That means it's going to end soon.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Dear, that was not the play. And now the response comes in. Mid one drops a Haunt to get into this engagement. Iceberg popping the BKB on the front lines, though. He's too big and he's going to be able to tear down Pasaxa. Meanwhile, Roger might get finished off as well. OG, they're going to make a trade. It looks like they might be losing no-tail. Iceberg now TPing out in the last few seconds. There's BKB. No, it doesn't quite come through, as they will be able to bring him down. Thompson stealing that Doom form, getting that Infernal Blade onto him at the very last second of his TP, and then they bring down the Doom. A big win for OG.
That was so unfortunate for Navi. They must have seen the Heavenly Grace, right? And it had like literally 2 seconds left on it. If they waited, they would have been able to get that perfect lift into ulti, spear, blah, blah, blah. Morph would have been toast right there.
Yep.
They went a little too soon, messed up their combo, and here comes OG, and now Doom died with this 10-second BKB. Not fun. Ow, Apparition getting found out on the left side.
Yeah. He's having some troubles in the backline. Does drop that ulti just before he dies. And Vici might be able to take down the Earth Spirit here. Popping that rage to finish the job. Will get that kill. Move it across maybe over towards Seb, but he's a little bit too quick with that surge. Gets himself away. Now it's going to put an end to this. So it's just the Earth Spirit dropping for a wall. No big deal.
Huh. Interesting item on V2 in this game that is queued up. Nullifier right after the armor. So he wants to be able to remove that surge. Like whoever he goes on won't be able to get surged up. Interesting.
Yeah, can't remove the Heavenly Grace though, right?
No, you cannot. But that's still okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to be able to remove the surge. But yeah, very, very interesting. Not something I've ever seen. This is gonna be a record nullifier timing for sure. Because this is an item that people buy like, you know, 4th or 5th, maybe even 6th item in the game. So
yeah,
buying it 2nd item like this is, yeah, leave it to V2 and Lyster to do that.
I'm just kind of having a look through things. I don't think it can dispel Blade Mail. I'm fairly certain on that one.
No.
Can dispel Surge. Can dispel Hood, for what it's worth, when that turns into a pipe, obviously. That as well.
Force Staff, that's a big one. OG will naturally buy Force Staff against Apparition. That's a weird one, you know? Like, I really hated that change where you can actually purge Force Staff. It just made it much, much weaker of an item. You remember the days when people used to buy like 4 Force Staffs on a team? And you just see like all the ping pongs. Yeah, and you would even like try to force people out of the enemy base to kill them. Because that was like the only way you could get them out. Fun times.
The old slip and slide Dota. Long gone. Thank you, Nullifier.
Not only Nullify, but it just item just has been getting nerfed. Patch after patch after patch for many, many years.
True enough. True enough. Yeah, price gone up, cooldown's gone up.
The stats that it gives has gone down.
Yeah.
And the range, cast range too. Pretty slow game right now, it looks like, from both sides. You know, slowing things down. Thompson just wants to finish up his Ags before he fights again. Navi understand that they really cannot kill someone if they just get surged at the moment. So, and Mars maybe needs some form of initiation. He does have a Yos, and not really close to a dagger or anything like that though.
No, General's really gone for this kind of budget build. You know, he is the weakest core, but that's because Roger's been taking a lot of the farm as well. He wants to try and get himself to that blink as quickly as possible. Yeah. Now, an interesting game is both teams seem to be thinking that, you know, that they can wait it out a little bit, find their next timings. Lifestealer wants his Nullifier. As you mentioned, the Morphling's just getting his Aghanims brought out to him now. Maybe that's when we see something from it. In fact, they're already in position to make something happen down at bottom. Waiting to see if anyone comes to push out this lane and seeing if they can jump on them and get a free kill. The dream scenario here for OG, but so far, Navi, they've got other plans. They've got a lovely little dinner date with a big scaly dude named Roshan. This bachelor will be taken down. Well, not that quickly, actually, as it seems like they've changed their minds. Down in the bottom lane, the Morphling has actually been caught out by General here as he drops down that ultimate. The Ice Blast will just... Oh, it somehow didn't catch onto Thompson there. So he's going to be absolutely fine and could just swim himself away.
At least Yos is a pretty good item against Heavenly Grace, because status resist is not going to reduce the duration of that Yos. There was a time where it did. That was really annoying. You could not set anything up on that. But yeah, they quickly fixed that. So pretty good item against Heavenly Grace. You can waste 2 seconds the duration and get some setups going maybe.
OG, they seem to have maybe sniffed out this Roche attempt here. They are smoking across with 3 of their heroes, but Roshan's going down very quickly and they need to get here now and do something about this now. Saxa maybe spotting it out here. He's got the roll available. They see the dagger, and now they roll in, jumping into this pit, immediately disrupting things. Thompson steals the Aegis. No! Vichi's the one who picks up that Aegis, but the Roshan goes to OG, and now they can turn around and look for this fight. No Tail popping that ultimate, but still taking so much damage. The Nullifier going to take off that Guardian Angel and bring down the Omni Knight. Meanwhile, Thompson just laying into Roger here. Can he finish the job? But Darkseer inside the pit is also getting killed off. He's going to lose his life as he loses Roger as well, and now the Lifestealer could be in some trouble. He's silenced up, but don't forget, he's got the Aegis, so he will be okay. Coming back to life for a second time around as General's here. Marina available in just 10 seconds, but they're going to be able to take down Iceberg on the sidelines, and now they need to leave. Vici needs to run. Meanwhile, Thompson gets on top of the Mars. Mars seems to just be kind of giving his life to try and get lifesteal away from this one, but Thompson rolls himself forward, but with the Rage TP, Vici will live. A messy, scrappy fight from both teams here. They grab the Aegis to the side of Navi, but get it used in the same damn fight. So, I mean, I think this was an OG victory.
That most definitely is. Whenever you can kill off the Aegis right away, it's always going to be so good for you. And Thompson turning into that Earth Spirit, he can just be anywhere in this engagement. They got the kill on the Doom, the Mars as well. The position 2 and 3 on Navi falling just fed so much experience the way of OG as well in that engagement. The gold lead shifting into their favor. 1k gold now. And Radiance, I think, is also up. That was a fight without Radiance on mid 1.
Yeah, no, he barely doing anything in these fights, and now he picks up the Radiance. It's going to be, his impact's going to triple pretty much in these engagements. So really scary situation now from Navi. This might be costing them a lot more than just a Roshan and Aegis. As a Dominator going to start tumbling against them. Meanwhile at mid, Saxa jumps in. Beachin though should be okay as the roll connects onto him. Vacuum down onto the 2. They kind of always want to fly here, but they keep blocking him out as Tulsa just kicks him away. Get out of here, Agent Apparition. We want to try and kill off General, but the Infest's going to save him. Now he chops out the other side, trying to look onto Sek. They've got that nullifier down. Airblast's going to come through as well. They get him, and now they look on towards the Spectre. The Spectre's just not that tanky. She's losing a life. She's gone. He evaporates, and now Saxa getting the roll across. Actually connects on that one. Does get himself away, but with the Darkseer and the Spectre down, they're going to be very happy with this one on the side of Navi, and now the nullifier's going to connect onto Saxa, but he manages to dodge it out with the Glimmer Cape nicely.
Oh, that is... I don't know if that was some kind of miscommunication from OG, but Spectre came into that fight without Hunt because his team was just going on in against 5 of Navi's heroes, so maybe he felt pressure to come into the fight, instantly just gets hit with an Ice Blast, Mars Arena Spear, and just pops. Right? This is a time where he wanted to farm up a little bit with that Radiance, wait for the Hunt, and then fight with his team. But mid one, maybe feeling a little too pressured to join the fight.
And this was a new record on the Nullifier, by the way, as expected. In the mid-bottom lane, AA Blast coming through onto the Morphling. He could be in some trouble. They have got that Doom available, but Iceberg doesn't want to pop it down onto Ebony Grace target, so he's got to hold off for the time being. And now the Horn comes through. They've killed off Always Want to Fly. Moving across, looking towards Roger as well, as the roll comes sliding on through. Doesn't connect onto anybody, but they're going to try and drop the Spectre. Doom comes down on Tim. Heavenly Grace is thrown down, but V-Tune and Iceberg just wailing away at the Beast. Can they bring him down? They need that Nullifier to break through the Guardian Angel, and they don't have it right now, so they got to try and get themselves away. V-Tune gets the Infest off inside of Iceberg here. They're trying to run themselves down inside that Doom. Always Want to Fly has brought back into this one. Needs to be careful not to give his life away for a second time, as they do need that blast to try and make something happen. And Saxa sees the target. Jumping across the side, but here comes the arena. They're going to try and bring down the Omniland. They will be able to do so. Step in trouble as well. They get the secondary kill. Meanwhile, Thompson just trying to get his right clicks off onto Iceberg. See if he can bring down the Doom. Might be able to do exactly that. They interrupted up, but the Doom's going to turn around, get the Infernal Blade, but it doesn't matter. Thompson kills him, and now Thompson's in trouble. He pops. He's gone. And now Lifestealer, well, he's being torn apart by Midway and Saxa already. He's actually tearing through Saxa instead. The brawl continues as Saxa goes down. V-Tune just trying to bring down Always Want to Fly. Will be able to do that, but now the Nullifire's on top of him, trying to go for the TP out. V-Tune does not have to cancel for it, and just the 2 carries will be left alive in this crazy, crazy engagement. It is only the Lifestealer and the Spectre who survive. The Spectre TP's away, so I mean, I guess that's it. V-Tune's a champion. Well done, buddy.
Yeah, he is the champion, and he's making his way to us Manta now. He's going to be very strong. That was an incredible fight. I thought V-Tune was so screwed, but then he just infested the Doom, got out, waited for his cooldowns. They turned the fight around. Apparition with the buyback, clipping the Morphling with the Ice Blast there. Actually got him killed in the last fight, so very well executed in the end by Navi, making the best out of a bad situation, I think. When the Spectre came alive and she popped that Haunt, I thought Navi was completely done in that fight.
It really did just kind of... It felt like a game of a fight of micro plays, you know, just the little tiny things which Navi were doing right to come out with, I mean, well, a draw. I guess they won technically, but it really, really was a very, very even engagement.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of worrying though, because I feel like this OG draft is just going to get stronger and stronger as time goes on. Navi, I'm not so sure.
Well, V-Tune, if he does manage to get that Manta and the Scotty up, I think Morphling and Spectre are going to have a little bit of trouble. I really like this Manta pickup, so the Spectre won't be able to just desolate him in the fights too, which is quite annoying. And then you can also remove the silences from the Earth Spirit and the Morphling, because the Morph is copying the Earth Spirit in these fights.
Yep.
So, multiple purpose for this Manta. It's going to be a pretty big item for him. Quite worried about Iceberg. His farm has slowed down quite a bit. He's still higher than everybody else on OG, but Doom generally likes to be, you know, a head taller than the other heroes. If he finishes
Yeah, when
the
you have a
Shivas, that's
spell
gonna be
which kind of
nice.
just gives you free money, you kind of expect that hero to be doing a little bit better than everyone else. But
Yep,
it's not the
exactly.
case this time around. Iceberg. The Shivas will be pretty helpful though.
Huge item this game. Anti-healing.
Oh, top lane, Horn comes in. They're looking to try and find the plays here as Rogers might get run down, but VTune, he's just getting the rage TP away and will be successful in doing that. Fortunately, Roger
a
might not
trap.
be so lucky. Does have the surge. Is it going to be enough to get him away from this one? I don't think so. No-Tail finds him in the trees. The double rolling boulder comes across and they will descend upon Roger and take him down. Also gets a double kill.
So that was a haunt for 2 support kills. I fully expect Navi to just come back alive with these 2 supports and just smoke on up and run at OG. That's at least what they should try to do, because they got all their spells up. And haunt is a very key skill for OG to be able to find these 2 supports. It's the best fight they're gonna get.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. They have all those ultimates available as well. Arena, Doom,
Yeah.
Ice Blast, it's all there.
And Thompson is like just rolling across the map, trying to find someone. He knows they need 1 more kill before Navi actually group up and make a play happen.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, just keep the fights going is what they want. Keep those cooldowns ticking on Navi. Don't give them a chance to fight with their full 100% efficiency, but unfortunately he's unable to find anybody else. And now OG probably going to respect
mid one.
how strong Navi are.
Wait, this is a trap. If mid-one gets jumped here, this could be really bad. He has no way to escape. No-Tail is
Surely.
behind him though, but I'm not sure if that's enough.
Surely it can't be. I mean, you can
they-
almost see
are they
Navi
afraid?
being like, guys, there's
Wait.
no way this Spectre's is walking in, and
Yeah.
there's 2 heroes behind him.
And Seb just Iron Shell top 2, like they're afraid.
Oh,
Navi's actually afraid of OG here. Although
Had
there is no
them-
hunt, and yeah.
They had the moon on a stick, but they just don't take it.
I'm
Clearly
I'm
feeling
quite,
not. Yeah.
I'm quite surprised. It's just because they didn't really see anybody else on the map. Like they didn't see the Darkseer or the Morphling before that until the Iron Shot came off top. But when the Iron Shot did come off top, they're like, oh, well, the Spectre's not pushing anymore. I guess we can't really just run in and try to find him. Apparition getting jump burst again.
Oh, hey, buddy. Okay, that's going to be a freebie in the middle lane. 45 seconds without that
No
Ice
Ice
Blast is
Blast.
going to feel pretty freeing for OG now. And they want to keep on going. Actually, they find the Doom. He's just hanging out here on the low ground. He's got the BKB, though. Should be all right. Mid-one trying to take some taps on his shoulders, but he's just going to peace out. Get the BKB, get himself away. Rage also being popped from V-Tune. OG, they are looking for more. They really want to fight without this Ice Blast. And this is the difference between the 2 teams, you know? The moment OG sees something, they're just going for it. They are trying to take every little bit of advantage they can get. Navi, they're
Yep.
given something, and they're like, well, you know, we want to kind of analyze the situation. Maybe this isn't best for us. They're just thinking a bit too much, Navi. I want to see them try and go and make these plays.
As soon as Apparition's ulti was on cooldown, there, I mean, it was dead, like off the board. They just went crazy, right? Thompson has like nothing to fear about. He's got Lincolns now. Morphling is gonna have an even more difficult time dooming him. He's gonna have to wait for somebody else to pop that Lincolns, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yep, and now
Looks
we're back
like-
to our full 5 versus 5 strength.
Yep, and Navi, I think, are gonna be the ones zoned out of their own triangle area here. OG have taken over this. Roshan is soon going to spawn. That's what OG wants to play for as well. They're happy to invite a fight in this area.
Radiant's top tower is under
I'm
attack.
just kind of surprised more than anything. I mean, they have the Shiva's finished up on the Doom as well. It's oh, Horn comes out. Hello, what are they looking for here? Poking maybe a general. Horn finally comes down onto Roger in the backlands. They might be able to bring down this Rubik as Saxa comes to join him in this engagement, but the Infest's going to save his life now. V-Tune turning it onto mid-one here. He's got another fire out onto him as the split fight comes through the arena in the high ground, going to try to take down Seb. Meanwhile, mid-one's still alive. They actually disengage from each other as the Heavenly Grace comes through, but that might not save Seb here, as he is still being taken down by Iceberg. Iceberg should be able to bleed out the Darkseer, but maybe in the backlands they'll kill off Always Wanna Fly, and Roger's supports are gone, but V-Tunes will chew through Saxa as well. Tolton gets a kickback, wants to come over, try and finish off General. Oh, great spear, throwing Tolton back into the arms of V-Tune. He's got the nullifier onto him as well. Tolton's got to be careful, but steals that lifestealer form, turning it around, popping the rage. V-Tune does the same, going for the TP away, doesn't want to fight this anymore. Unfortunately, Roger, he's brought back into this one, comes straight into the fight, and Saxa is on him again like a rash, gets on top of Roger, takes him down, 3 down on the side of Navi as well, to dive back on the Rubik. A very,
That's a
very good
rush.
fight from OG again, and now they can get into Roshan.
Oh, Aegis and Cheese to Morphling and Spectre. My goodness, 2 heroes.
God.
You hate seeing these items on. And
Yeah.
Navi, they look like they were getting the best fight. They're starting with the Doom onto the Darkseer.
Hold on, it might
But
not be over. They found
Iceberg.
Iceberg here. He doesn't have his BKB. Iceberg, no! He's just going to get finished off. Featuring trying to make something of this by killing No-Tail on the side, but realizing that the jig's up. Now popping that rage to get himself away. Doesn't have a TP at the moment. OG, do they want to chase? No, they want to take down Roshan. The easier target and the more lucrative one.
If OG weren't playing
Run, little
so
courier.
confidently on this map, I think with these two items now, the Aegis and the Cheese, they're going to be ending up in the opponent tier 4s.
Goodness gracious, Iceberg. I mean, I'm not sure what he was doing there, but that was a huge mistake from him. They could have maybe thought about threatening Roshan with him alive, but unfortunately not.
He thought they were just going to do Rosh, not going to come for him while he pushes out the lanes. Try to buy some time, but you know, happens. You read the game wrong, you expect your opponent to do one thing, they do something completely different, and then you get punished for it.
Yeah. I think OG, I don't know if it's by design or what's been happening in these fights, but every fight we've had is split into 2 mini fights. You know, there's been a kind of like a 3-on-2 and a 2-on-3
Exactly.
happening on separate occasions, and this helps out OG so much. I mean, they're the team rocking the Spectre, the Morphling, the Earth Spirit, the Morphling who is basically an Earth Spirit anyway. You know, they've more or less got 2 Earth Spirits on their team. Such high mobility means that they can just kind of shift across resources to whatever fight they need to kind of amplify. It's really bad for Navi in these engagements.
When the Spectre pops the Haunt, everyone's pretty much running away, right? So the Chaos just starts right there, and Navi, the Doom, the Mars, they have their targets in mind, who they need to go on. So they're looking for those heroes. And the Spectre is looking for the supports, and the supports are trying to get away from the Spectre. So it's just a whole bunch of chaos in these fights, and it's got to the point where this apparition just straight up can't live if a Haunt comes out. Now he does have a Glimmer Cape, so mid one, no dust on him right now. If he can somehow get through one Haunt without dying, I think Navi have a chance to be able to bring this Morphling down.
What about the Spectre?
Sorry? Oh yeah,
Well,
I said
can they bring the
you mean
Spectre down?
how to kill a Spectre down? Well, I think
Is
they
it
gotta
Morph
start
or
with the Morph.
Spectre or okay. Bring down the Morph
They gotta-
first, then kill
yeah.
everyone else, and then maybe you can think about Spectre with Cheese because you don't want to be hitting that hero.
Thompson's doing way too much in the fights. He's got a stun, a slow, a silence, a E-Blade combo. This Earth Spirit Morphling is just insane right now. He has all the mobility in the world.
Yeah, I can't imagine playing into this as any fun whatsoever for the supports. Oh gee, they're always so good at finding these little combos between 2 or 3 heroes, which just looks completely broken. And just casually, you know, 65% of Doom's health gone in an instant, forcing him to blink out. Thank you, E-Blade. Very cool. Look at Tops. I mean, look at all these buffs. Look at all these buffs just being thrown onto the Morphling here, but they will get the nice little spear back, but he's got the waveform away before the Ice Blast connects, and now with no Ice Blast, they're just going to jump on top of Wage Apparition. He just gets taken down. He's just ignoring V-Tune and trying to go for the backline targets instead, but the buyback comes out from Woods 1-5. Thompson actually getting pretty low in the first place here, but he's going to roll himself away. See you later. He's out of the engagement. Meanwhile, mid one, TP onto the front lines, using that Haunt. Rubik does steal the Heavenly Grace. That could be pretty useful here to throw it onto V-Tune. He's just tearing away at the Expert, but a great vacuum in from Seb. Where is the follow-up from the side of OG? I mean, they are here. They're slowly tickling them down as Thompson comes in from the side trying to bring down the Doom. Not having enough damage, and now Thompson could be in some trouble. He's got that Strength Morph coming on through. Nullified comes down, but Vichi's actually nullified himself. This could spell trouble for him. He has got that Heavenly Grace onto him from the Rubik, though, and this seems to be what they need to stand their ground in these fights. This Heavenly Grace Lifestealer is just doing too much work, and OG are forced to retreat.
Yeah, and the Earth Spirit died there without a buyback either, so OG, they cannot take the fights 4 versus 5. Big hold here from Navi. That was finally, you know, Heavenly Grace on Roger. You can see the power that they have in their draft as long as they have that spell on their side too.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And he's going to catch up with his team now as they're smoked up. There's a double damage. They'll grab that on V-Tune, I'm sure. And they are looking for a fight. 45 seconds
Yeah,
without
they are.
Saxa. Real opportunity
Scotty.
here.
This is a Scotty plus Shiva's combination from Navi as well. Against the Morphling, the Omni Knight. Even the Spectre's cheese. It's not going to heal for a whole lot if you get hit by both of those skills.
No, it's not, especially on a Spectre, you know, it's just such a tanky hero with so much HP that with all the healing de-amplification.
What is it called? What is this? What is the thing actually called? The effect where it reduces the healing. I guess there's no real word for it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, healing de-amp? That just sounds a bit of a...
Anti-healing?
Anti-healing. Yeah, that's easier. That's simpler. I like
Anti-healing?
simple.
Yeah.
Anti-heals coming out from Navi. I like it. Well, OG, back to full strength now. Their window of opportunity has been slammed shut. However, that said, the Aegis does now run out, so the opportunity for finding these kills onto Thompson is a real big one. I mean, that fight as well, it's worth mentioning that Always Wanna Fly completely missed the Ice Blast onto the Morphling.
Yeah,
he managed to get the waveform
definitely.
out, so if he can still land this Ice Blast, then the fights might look even better for Navi.
What's the best way to land the Ice Blast? Would be you use the Morphling when he's not... when he doesn't have the Heavenly Grace on him, and then you drop the Ice Blast while he's in the air.
Yeah. Will it still affect him when he's in the air?
Yeah, at least you will get
Oh,
like
okay.
the little, clip
Debuff.
effect on him.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
debuff.
that's
That's
what
what
you need.
really matters. Like, you don't need that big Ice Blast damage. You just need the debuff, and that's a good way to go about it.
Oh, God.
So if the Heavenly Grace...
Wait. Oh, sorry, no, continue.
Okay. So if the Heavenly Grace comes after the debuff, then it's not going to be like half duration. So
Yeah.
that way you can get a chance to get the morph. Thompson will obviously do the best he can to get away from that fight first, wait for the debuff to go up, but at least you're going to get a fight where Thompson's not going to be able to just stand his ground and hit you.
Yeah, for sure. So the point I was about to make is that they found a Spell Prism inside of OG, and I was really expecting them to give that over to Thompson, but actually, they're keeping it on the Spectre. They want daggers for days. That's what they want.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
General,
guess-
jumping forward, they're trying to find themselves a target. They want to try and bring down Saxa here with the Infest Bomb, but unfortunately, it doesn't quite go the way it planned. So
He's fine.
Navi with the disengage, poking
got a
and prodding,
BKB.
looking for an opportunity.
Iceberg.
Yeah, he's tanking some
there's
damage
lot
here.
of
He's got a
HP, buddy.
BKB, but mid one's on top of him. He doesn't want to just pop his BKB like this.
got
Would
the
really
Grace
like to
on
be able
him.
to get back into his base, and that is going to
I
happen.
got a Grace. Ooh, and speaking of Iceberg, he's got an Aghanims on his hero. So that's a pretty solid counter to the Spectre.
Yeah.
It's a very good counter to the Spectre. That item. It applies a break on your Infernal Blade, which is insane. Also, longer duration.
Yeah, so it's 6 seconds of burn duration. That is, I think, 4 seconds or 6 seconds of break even. And then a cooldown of 3.5 seconds. So, I mean, yeah, you can easily
really
change this,
good.
obviously. You can keep
Yeah,
them
he's got the
permanently
quickening charm
broken.
for that lower cooldown, which is really nice. Rubik, oh, he's lost the Heavenly Grace. He needs that spell again.
Oh,
Come
man.
back here, No-Till. Please,
Yeah.
I need you.
Give me your grace. Bless me with your grace, sir. Big Daddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
No-Tail as well. He's I noticed him building this last game as well, going for the Holy Locket.
Yeah,
Guy just all about that healing life.
interesting. I mean, you can drop the all your stick charges onto your core. This is some real position 5 right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather he went for like an Aether Lens or something, because Omni doesn't actually give a lot of healing, right? Even if he has a Holy Locket, so.
It's just
I
so
like Holy
weird
Locket
just
on-
watching it mid. It's so strange. Iceberg's just trying to find a creep wave. There's rocks coming in every direction. Like, they're throwing in the ethereal blades. Like, it's just a monster barrage of rocks.
Oh, they found
General
it.
and V-Tune. They're under...
They know.
Well, are they under vision, actually? They know they're here somehow. V-Tune just rage TP away immediately. General might not be so lucky, though. He's actually got the BKB TP out, so doesn't matter. They've got the damage
What?
tear through him
He's
regardless.
dead.
They'll lose the Mars. No buyback
Yeah,
either,
that was
and no
pretty fast.
BKB.
Indeed. 50 seconds. It's not a very long time, though, for OG. They will try to run across the map, maybe get some kills, but... Third Roche is already up? What? Wait,
That was a quickie.
I swear it felt like they just did Roshan a couple of minutes ago. But yeah, third Rosh is already up, and this one has an Aghanims on it. Who's gonna take this? Spectre?
You tripping,
They're
Theban.
gonna get the...
Spectre Axe.
Spectre?
Oh, sign me up.
Axe?
This is very cool. I think they will. See, it seems pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got
There
it.
you go. All right, time
Wait,
some
he
shadow
wants
step
to give-
nonsense.
No, yeah, he's gonna take it. All right, here we go. He should definitely get a basher this game, so he can shadow step onto a Lifestealer and then like cancel his TPs if he ever tries to leave the base, because that's how he's getting away from every fight. He's just raging and TPing out.
And then we have the Shadow Step down to the bottom lane, getting on top of this Ancient Apparition, but the Infestor's going to keep him alive, but doesn't matter. The Ethereal Blade will still finish the job. Meanwhile, Saxa jump into the back, Vici though on top of Saxa, but he's got the Aghanims on himself to turn himself into stone. Good luck killing me now. Meanwhile, the rest of the team will just kind of gather around the tier 4s as Iceberg's also dropping low from this. Just the illusions chopping down. Meanwhile, Skewer back onto Saxa, pin him to the barracks, but it's generally taking so much damage. Pops the BKB, barely survives the speech and jumps onto Saxa. Poorly they can find this kill onto the Esport, and they need a little bit more and they will find the kill. Thompson, meanwhile, on the side, this guy has the Aegis, so he's not really too scared about taking any damage here, but they've used the Doom onto the Spectre, and Saxa does have buyback. They may just want to buy back on this Earth Spirit and keep on going, but OG don't really want to throw away any resources unnecessarily. They're just going to keep the pressure up onto Navi for the time being. Never mind, there they go. They see a chance to end the game.
They heard you and they were like, nope, we can't let Nomad be right.
That's fair enough.
Thompson becoming a Spectre, shadow stepping in.
Yeah,
Interesting.
finding the vision. This Lifesteal is getting real low here. Feature needs to get himself away. Does do so on a slither of HP. Survives and sitting inside his fountain, waiting for that regen. They've got their AA back in 7 seconds. Feature
Oh my god.
just has to
This is
cower.
crazy. The double shadow step from Morphling and Spectre. They can go
That
onto
is
the same
mad.
target.
Two
anywhere on
heroes,
the map.
global teleportation onto your face. They could have done this all game as well, and they go into General. General looking for the backlines here as once again we have that shadow step forward from the side of mid one, and then they go with the arena onto the backlines. They want to try and take down Seb. Can they bring down the Dark Seer is a question. A-Blast's gonna come through, but will not land, but it's not needed anyway. They get the kill, and now they look for the Omni Knight. The strike team of the backlines from Navi is effective, and they will take down another, but now Vichine's in trouble. He gets taken down too much damage.
He has
Doesn't
a
have
buyback.
buyback on the Lifestealer. Uh-oh, that's a problem. Saxa getting sat on by Iceberg, but Iceberg actually needs to go here as mid one's on top. Gets a blink away, going for the TP out. Shouldn't take too much damage. He gets his way back into the fountain. But where is the buyback on the Lifestealer? Looks like he bought out for maybe a basher? I'm not sure, but he bought out. So he's in some real trouble. I mean, this whole team's in some real trouble. Iceberg continuing trying to harass the Spectre as he blinks forward, but backs himself away just as quickly. Navi playing very, very on the edge. I mean, if OG knew this buyback wasn't here, I imagine they would be going for the win right now, but they are playing it cautiously, continuing to poke, definitely not leaving, but definitely not wanting to overcommit to anything and risk this dieback as they're going with the Doom onto the Spectre. Iceberg trying to make the plays here, but he might have just bitten off more than he could chew as he just limps in towards mid one. It's not going to happen though. Saxa will kill him off with the little hammer, Havoc hammer. Buyback is available from Iceberg, though they are delaying. I mean, they're not doing a half-bad job about delaying this one, as Iceberg just continues to shove his head into this team. Of course, the Aegis still available on Morphling. He's okay. Navi, they have somehow defended from this one. I mean, how did they not get the win there, Thebes?
Well, they're kind of running out of heroes, right? And spells and mana. You can't just keep on going non-stop, and the Doom is still very strong with that Infernal Blade.
Okay.
Got that buyback off of him, so they're just gonna have to calm down a little bit there. I think Earth Spirit, Omni Knight, very important for their strategy to keep on giving them all this, resources from the Heavenly Grace, the heals, and the Earth Spirit with all the stuns and stuff. So it's better to just go back, reset here. Once that Doom buyback's already out.
Yeah, press that refresh button, because to be fair, neither team really has buyback here, but General, he's actually one of the few who does. They'll take him down very, very quickly. General just feeling like such a squishy hero in this game as they turn the Lifestealer to stone. They're trying to catch him out here a little bit, but that's not going to happen. Wait, can Thompson turn here? Thompson can turn heroes to stone. Okay, there's just too much going on with this Morphling this game. There are too many Aghanims for me to really keep up about what exactly is happening and who's doing it to whom, but Thompson knows. He is not stuttering. Level 25 Morphling. The Morphling God is just completely in control of what's going on in this one as they're taking the barracks. They need to do something about this. The Shadow step forward, and now the Horn coming down from mid one as well. Tries to jump on top of Roger, but Roger has himself that Glimmer Cape to keep himself alive. Always want to fly. Won't be so lucky as the Ice Blast cuts through. Does just about catch onto a few heroes there, but isn't going to do enough work as Doom is in some trouble. They're surrounding the Doom. They'll bring him down. Down goes Iceberg without buyback. V-Tune, though, trying to get on top of Thompson stealing Doom for him, using a Final Blade. Is it going to be enough, though? I don't think so. V-Tune now looking for a new target, trying to bring down Saxa. Saxa getting pretty low right outside the base here, but the rest of Navi, they are whittling down. They only have 3 heroes left alive. Can they really fight into the full 5-man force of OG? I just do not think so. They've bled out too much at this point, and then they go on to the Rubik. Rubik is going to lose his life down. He goes. No buyback on him. 2 left for the side of Navi. They're trying to hold, but there's just nothing they can do. And there it comes. The GGs are popped. OG will hammer home the victory, making this series a 2-0 victory over the side of Navi, and thus ends their streak in this tournament, I believe. Dang, that was brutal. I mean, that was an absolute spaghetti game. That was just a mess all over the floor there. The Aghanims, the different spells being used. Thompson was turning into, I think he turned into every hero in the game at some point. I mean, that was just ridiculous. Very hard to keep up on. But OG, I mean, just playing some extremely high-level Dota here and really impressing us and putting down Navi in a 2-0. I mean, I wouldn't have expected this result coming into this series, but OG, they're looking like they're playing the Dota they know and love.
Yeah, you give them Omni Knight and suddenly they're just a completely different team. I love what they were able to do with this hero, how they rallied behind it, its powers. Morphling from Thompson 2 games in a row was just so nice to watch how he plays this hero, especially this game, going late with all the Aghanim usage and stuff. My goodness, I don't know how he keeps in mind all the skills that he could possibly do and how he can fight, but that was so nice to watch.
It's actually insane. Like in that last fight there, I'm fairly sure he turned into the Spectre at the very start of the fight, then turned into the Spirit, of course, halfway through, then turned into the Lifestealer to steal the Rage, and then turned into the Doom at the end to steal Infernal Blade.
The Infernal Blade, yeah.
I mean, what? How do you process that? How does one mind go through all those spells, all those abilities, and somehow be able to keep track of everything? I don't know, but I mean, Thompson is just a remarkable player. Navi just weren't ready for what OG brought today, and once again, proving you can never count out this team. Navi, it was sad for them. They did a lot of things right, but in the end, they just didn't really take the opportunities which were put in front of them at different stages in the game. But that's going to be enough from us. Me and Theoban are all done here, but we've got a lovely old panel to bring it over, bring home the analysis, and maybe a cheeky little interview if you guys are really good. So we'll throw it back. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. But there's more Epic League action to come throughout the day, so stand by, enjoy it, and we'll see you soon.
That's right. You got to behave yourself, otherwise we're not going to give you an interview. But we'll break down the game for you. That much is guaranteed. As yet another undefeated team will suddenly fall. It was Viking falling yesterday, and now Navi will lose their undefeated streak. But there's no shame in losing it to a team like OG, and there's no shame in losing it to clean, brutal Dota that OG were presenting there. Lizard, how do you think this Morphling Earth Spirit thing has got more legs than Morphling Earthshaker? Were we looking at the wrong Morph ES this whole time?
Man, I'm just enjoying it. Every time they roll in together, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song for some reason.
It's Transformers for me. I just hear Autobots roll out every time.
Yeah, that one is good as well. And then you have Spectre as well with that Shadow Step or Haunt. They just show up the fight and fight me. I don't know. I like it. It's very enjoyable. The game itself was really difficult for. Again, I would say it was difficult for New Navi because a couple of those moves were good at the beginning. In the laning stage, Doom gets a solo kill on the Morphling. They make a couple of good rotations. They trade core for core. They take a tier 1 on the top lane. But when it really mattered in those big engagements around Rosh, their Surge, their Heavenly Grace, and that's really what broke them. Doom jumps in, he dooms the target. The target always gets out.
Yeah,
it's so difficult to play when you don't have your spell that is on a 2-minute cooldown.
And when you're playing with the BKB as well, right? So you really need to execute when you make those big plays. And when you're losing out on fights, when you have a 10-second BKB, it's just that just it's so demoralizing to go from there.
I felt like this game was a bit of a research for both teams, though, because for Navi, I think they're trying to test the limits of what Doom mid can get away with. They're saying, is it really that strong against Morphling? Is it an iceberg kind of hero? And for OG, I think they're also testing out the potential of this combo. They're also testing out to prove that they know the Doom mid matchup, because the puck didn't work. But, the Morph is a completely different beast. And I think my favorite part was seeing our interviewee on one of his signature heroes. Sox, a pleasure to have you join us. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a holler, my friend.
Hello, I can hear you.
Much love. I'm curious. OG seems to do their best work when people are doubting them. Were you hiding this Earth Spirit all this time? Because you've been playing a lot of Willow this tournament, and it was a pleasure to see you on Earth Spirit. Why was that not happening earlier on?
I don't know. I just wake up one day, you feel like playing Earth Spirit more so than other heroes, and yeah, we just go for it. It's good with our lineup, so it worked out.
What is your favorite position for even to play right now?
I
Do you have one?
Kunkka. not a very common one right now, but I like playing that, and probably Tusk. It's like a hero that can like roam around and kill people.
Do you think there is a place for Kunkka as a position 4? That hasn't been around forever, right?
I don't know. I'm still exploring it, but we'll see. Maybe one day.
Are you trying to convince the team at all on it? Like, hey guys, trust me. For Kunkka.
I mentioned it 1 or 2 times, but you haven't played it yet, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, the next time you guys pick Kunkka, we'll be going nuts on the panel, and then you'll disappoint us by making it mid anyway. But we'll try and we'll talk up the support Kunkka. We'll see if we can get it moving with somebody.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess Kunkka's your favorite player right now. Are there any heroes that you're really looking forward to getting buffed? Because the patch, we know it's probably soon. Is there anyone you really want to see get better?
I guess Coddle would be maybe one hero, and maybe Pugna. I guess those can be like both 4 and 5, but I feel like these heroes could enjoy some buffs.
Yeah,
Pugna, this hero was like fun for like 2 weeks when people weren't playing it, then people start playing it, and it was like broken for 2 weeks, and then they just instant nerf it, and it's like now when people don't play it at all. So that's a bit sad. Hey, hopefully they bring back Mana Leak. Like
yeah, make it stun.
Yes, exactly. That's what I missed.
Fond memories. Fond memories.
There's nothing better than like mana leaking a guy than 4-staffing him, blinding lighting him to 0 mana. That's the best.
You're a sadist. All right, I got it.
Yeah. There's just so many heroes they've changed. I don't feel at home anymore. Like different enchanters, different Kottles, different Chen.
Yeah.
At least sad boys.
Going into this series today, Navi were undefeated. Did you do extra preparation for this? Because for most of us here on the panel, we've been looking at this entire group stage, and it's been very, very unexpected. Everything is upside down, and teams that were usually middle of the pack are exceeding expectations. So how'd you feel about Navi as an opponent for today's series?
I don't think we really did any extra preparation. We played a lot against them in scrims and stuff too, so we kind of know what they like to do. So we didn't really prepare anything too much for them. If anything, we prepared less, I guess. And maybe we were like more relaxed. That's why. But I don't know, like this group stage, like everybody can be like top 1 and everybody can be like last. So any team you play is like you don't want to underestimate them.
Are you guys scrimming a lot? Are you practicing a lot now that there's no DPC and stuff, no LAN events? Or is it like a little bit more chill?
Yeah, we're practicing when we have like tournaments to play, usually like 2 scrims a day. And we're also like boot camping some of us right now, except for Thompson. Yeah.
What is the life of Soxa outside of Dota? You got anything else that you're up to lately?
Not so much. I started going to the gym recently, then I stopped for a while. And yeah, other than that, just play Dota. Try not to get Corona.
That's a good one. Yeah. Solid goals right there.
Par for the course. Your next opponent is going to be Team Secret. I imagine every single team in Europe considers them to be the gold standard. How have you felt about Secret in this tournament? I know we spoke to Matu yesterday, and it seems like he personally may be losing a little bit of motivation, but You think it's expected that Secret, is not looking as bulletproof as they used to, or are you also surprised that Secret's kind of not hitting their expectations?
I mean, I'm not really surprised. Like, to be able to play on that high level, like all the time, consistently having that level of focus is pretty hard. So at some point, they gotta like lose focus a bit and start like playing worse. Like I saw, like I was watching their games in this tournament, the last, and there's a pretty big difference in the tournaments they played before when they won. So I guess they're slightly weaker right now, but they seem to be winning again. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see if you can take advantage of this momentary lapse in weakness. But thanks so much for dropping by for this interview, and congratulations on your win versus Navi.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Young Saksa, the Macedonian beast of a 4 position, and enabled more so than ever before on this Earth Spirit. Definitely happy to see him taking that hero up again. And I don't know, is it only viable if Thompson's playing Morphling, or do you think he's going to be able to play it by himself?
We'll be seeing more of the Earth Spirit. I mean, it was double enabled by like the Morphling and the Darkseer, I guess you could say, especially in Game 2. But surely, when there's other moments, they'll still be bringing out the Earth Spirit.
And the Kunkka?
That would be cool. I remember a long time ago that Kunkka position 4 was a top tier pick, like Kunkka Shadow Demon rotating across the map with disruption into Tor, and Tor just Kunkka. Like it's a solid hero with like there are some difficulties to play to position 4. If you remember, Kunkka position 4 could farm the Ancients even very easily and get a lot of farm and then join the fights. I don't think there's place for something like that right now, but who knows? Maybe they can figure something different out.
So it was a quick 2-0. So, gentlemen, there's going to be a bit of a break, but next series is Liquid versus Alliance. How are you feeling expectation-wise? I feel like we've had nothing but 2-0s from top to bottom. Yesterday, day before yesterday, it was 2-0s. Yesterday, it was 2-0s. We're starting off today with 2-0s. If this was a 2-1, let's say it was, you think Liquid may be able to get a win here, or is Alliance just going to be another lose for them, Trent?
Liquid are going to get it. They're going to bounce back, much like Alliance bounced back yesterday, ended their losing streak. I feel like Liquid are going to do the same. But either way, this is, as I said, like my favorite matchup in Europe right now. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching this one.
It's going to be an absolute classic, and it'll be in a little bit because we are stuck to the schedule. So those of you enjoying your Sunday, take 50 minutes. I'm going to give you 50 minutes on the house, and when you come back, I hope you join us for some more Epic League Division 1 European action.
EGB, your esports betting world. The only place to find the widest choice of popular games and matches to win real money. Choose your bet on a single event or express of several matches with dizzy odds. Serving the market for 7 years with over 800,000 users. Join now to get your bonus for the first deposit up to $600. EGB, you know for sure who's gonna win.